And we are live. Welcome back to the IWAR Network Tubecast. I'm your host, Alex G. And with me this evening, we have All Ethics, Matt Riley. We have Aaron, and we have Jeff. What's going on tonight, guys?
Oh, no.
Matt's right.
Matt's having this Mountain Dew in about 4 months, so this show's going to get wild.
Yeah, no, I'm just I'm sending out the link of the show because somebody was last minuting us.
Oh.
But make sure if you do listen to us, you subscribe and join. Right, Alex?
Yeah, so guys, we now have membership perks. And what does that mean for you? It means that you can give me 99 cents every month. And I will give you perks such as badges and shout outs on this show.
Wait for someone to say it, they don't need any stinking badges. Oh.
So if you guys, it just gives you another way to support us if you so choose. Again, we have super chats are always live. We have our Amazon affiliate link if you choose. But guys, just another way for you guys to support this channel and us and what we do here. If you have a level of appreciation for all the things and time and hard work that we put into this, if you feel the need, I'm not trying to, I'm not a used car salesman here trying to sell you something.
And when Alex says perks, he doesn't mean Percocet. This isn't 1991 WCW.
That's great. It's great.
Oh no.
Percocet would be my pill of choice, by the way. If I could
speaking of a WCW classic, there was a customer, not one but two. One wearing a Legion of Doom T-shirt, and the other had a Nasty Boys T-shirt.
Oh, damn!
Wait, what?
Yeah,
you say Nasty Boys.
Nasty Boys, and I said to him, I said, "Do you have a friend wearing an Alex Wright shirt? I'll give you $10."
That's the threshold.
Didn't happen.
I don't even remember a Nasty Boys shirt for sale in the early '90s.
I think Pro Wrestling Tees is kind of jumping on the retro nostalgia kind of side of things.
Maybe. I can definitely see that.
And by the way, Darren says that he'll join as a member if we do the show in French.
All you need is Google Translate. I think they will actually. We can put subtitles. I can get you subtitles at the very least.
We have to learn French as a second language in Canada, but most of my teachers were pretty horrible, so I stopped learning in like grade 4 or 5.
We can barely speak English in America.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there's no hope, really.
It's weird. Slightly gross. But yeah, welcome back to the show. This is the TT Tubecast that will review all the TTs and stuff from last cycle. But first, more importantly, so Matt, what is I hear about you lacking some sort of ethics of some sorts? Or
well, yes.
So unethical Matt Riley?
yeah. So a former IWAR player who left in a huff.
You might as well just say his fucking name because I'm going to say it in 5 minutes. I don't know why we do such things like that.
I know, right? Actually, let me find the email to myself where I had a little breakdown of events, because I think it's important to remember that when it under IWAR ethics, it's important to remember that this game is about competition. And so what happened was the player in question here posted, and I'll read what he said here. He goes, "A word in IWAR ethics. I think we all know it's widely recognized practice for managers to flow tag and six-man for each other. It's a widely recognized practice." The Department of Redundancies checking in. And then there's a line. Because when you flow single strats for someone else, it's considered cheating. I don't know what's considered cheating. I mean, all right, anyway. So not to name names, but he said, myself and Scott giving other single strats cheaters. So that's quite amusing. So I think you have to break down the kind of nuggets here. So number one, cheating would imply that there's something I'm doing that breaks rules. So, like, for instance, is there a rule that you can't say, hey, need a strat? I've given people strats over the years and not even thought twice about it. And Scott and I have done it a bunch of times when, like, it's like, 4 a.m. I'm still up. It's, midnight his time, and he's like fading. And, like, yeah, I don't care. And the thing is, I would say this, I would probably say I've given him more 491 strategies, or shared more 491s than 498s that ended up winning a elite title or whatever it was I scored. But I know that, like last year, or maybe 2 years ago, there was a situation where the national title was 4 different players. And it was like Tim, it was Rob, and like 2 other people. I forget who it was. But it was like 4 players got the national title share. And that's fine. No one that I remember made a stink about it. But I think the idea of cheating would imply that, like, I have some sort of knowledge of the drops. Like, if I was like, oh, I know what's going to happen, and watch this. And I saw some guys going back and forth on some of the arguments. I don't like him, but Zach made a very good point about, when the 12 guys who win all the titles every cycle don't, they cry. And they have 3,000 wrestlers between them. And Mike Cook made a very good point that the fact that 2 guys can piss off a stable that runs 38% of the IWA is pretty impressive. So I will tip my cap to myself and pat myself on the back for that one. I actually, Scott took the belt. I put the belt on hold because I'm going to use it for something that I'm doing at Gen Con. That's a different story. But, when it comes to cheating in the game, I was thinking about, like, some of the roots of cheating. And now some of you may remember these or not. I'll kind of be brief about them. There was a big scandal in the game called the ELM, Early League Manipulation Strategy. And that was a thing where back when fax machines were used, and players, when the IWA did a hold set, right, it was for the whole month. And because things were mailed out, it wasn't as big a deal because you weren't thinking, like, people are getting the results. Well, long story short, guy on the phone gets the results from a friend. He sends his matches in and gets them just under the deadline. He faxes them in, whatever. So he ends up getting a chance to have a perfect strategy. And the reason it got discovered is because the guys were greedy. Instead of saying, like, hey, let's all win the title over a few months, they started going nuts, and it became very obvious when the other guys were winning everything in every league. I'm really giving a high-level view of this. But that was the big first scandal. And I remember that was a crazy time as far as, like, oh, my God, because you're like, it's a game. Who's cheating, I know, like it's like, for example, kind of a video game situation. When it comes to Call of Duty, right? I don't play many games, but Call of Duty, I was really good with a certain weapon, the noob tube, the grenade launcher. I could ricochet it, kill you in a room, like hiding in a building, and like it would piss people off to no end. Noob tube. I'm like, yeah, it's a weapon. I use it. I'm really good at it. Whatever. And they get really mad. So in this situation, when managers share 6-man strategies, right, and they win, there's like, I think Jeremy pointed out in one of our chats about, like, the 16 guys winning the World 6-man every month, and what is the point of that? And I think it's a thing that it's how the game's set up, and you can do it. Now, I always say I've never won that away 6. I'm trying, but that's the thing where, like, there's cheating implies an unfair advantage. Now, if you think doing my strats, that I will say this, we do a workshop every 3 weeks and try to help players do better. And for a while, I was actually doing one of my strats that I ran with US Mail and Super Bombero every cycle. I showed you exactly what I was running with them, and I ran it. And I didn't hear anybody complain about that. No one was like, oh, you shared your 493, you jerk. I know. We've Larry and I were doing it. I was running it myself, and Larry was helping with me. Now Darren was there for a couple times, and Mike's been helping there. So we're constantly trying to help players do better, and we know there seems to be this thought that, well, I can figure it out. I know exactly what's going to happen. Well, if that was the case with, they have the same world champion for 12 months in a row. We don't. There's curveballs. There's things that happen. And if you ever go to the dungeon page on that Facebook page, it's the same thing. Someone posts Darren will post the drops, and then you'll see, you'll see people go either like, oh, 501 PPF or 516 perfect or 501 not perfect, and then you'll see guys go, this game sucks. It's like, this goes completely back and forth. So, kind of give you an idea, I think what people need to realize is that in the IWA, cheating would imply an unfair advantage. Now, if you think my lending anyone a strategy, I've been giving them out for a few years now with the Gold Strategy Workshop. Uh, if you're, implying that one or two managers can outwit a 38% of the game stable, I'll take that. I'll take that compliment. 5-1 PPFs can go without winning a regional title. That can happen too, yeah. Like 5-16s happening without winning a championship. That's happened to me a few times in the tougher leagues. I think when let me email I pulled up here. So a couple of things about Scott and myself. We're not like friends. We're brothers. Like we've been friends since 1989. We went through growing up in high school and life together. Pen pals, lived together for a while. And our first stable when I was first playing the game was called New Age Management, and it was myself, it was Scott, it was Frank Snow, it was kids in my neighborhood, Jeff McGee, and some other people, and there was guys in the CCL like Nelson Ho and Ray Ho, and oh my God, I'm trying to think about all the people who were part of the group, but we were a big group, and what we would do is a monthly newsletter, and we would talk about our leagues. We would also share tips and say like, oh, in this league, let's go after this guy, and we'd pick somebody and let's all try to take them down. And the idea was you nuke their win-loss record because some guys were super like picky about it. But as far as getting better in the game, it's come from people sharing advice, and that's the way it works. Like when I first started playing, I had no idea how to change. I just didn't change my holds. I had the same set of holds for like 3 months at a time, 4 months, and then one of the players, Dave Barton, was like, "You got to change your holds." And Frank Moran was like, "Dude, you got to change your holds. Here's how you do." And I remember Frank and Dave sent me sample strategies, and I just used those for like months. Like didn't change them, just used them. And then it was like when I came back in the game in 2010, it was like 2011 or 12 when I had talks with like Jamie Davis and Jim Gabbard and Brandon Bailey and Sly Smith. And, they helped me see the matrix, so to speak, Joshua Haight with the tag team stuff. And that really helped me become a better player. And then what I've always tried to do with the NWL, we've tried to like help the rookies come in and be better players. And some guys come in and like have great years. Like when, like the Chameleon was elite champion out of the NWL, and like was on a hot streak. And some players come in and they go into the big leagues and they have a harder time. But we always figure like if we can prepare you so you can do better when you're there, that'll be great. So now I'll mention like this player, Mark, he's had a vendetta against me ever since the BRL, and I don't care. And he still talks about me and makes personal attacks. And it's like the only way you can find relevance in the game anymore is to attack someone like myself. And I just don't give a shit. Like you're in a crappy league. Your commission report spends half the time griping about the IWAR. That's not a good sign. If half the report from the IWAR, IWL, BWL was about other leagues, you kind of figure like, wow, not much going on there. We don't care. I've said it for a long time. If you want to impress me, run a better league. Do some innovative stuff. It's out there. Like look what Tommy did with the women's quest leagues, right? He like set things up and built on that. What Seth did in the UNL, and what he's doing in the NAL. Like there's people out there innovating and doing good things. Like AWL, what they've been doing for a long time. There's ways to change the game and make it more fun. Now, getting back to the cheating thing, it's interesting to note that I've never been a big roster player. I've tried it once and proved it could work. And, if you're a big roster player and you have X amount, and like a lot of guys will be like, well, I don't have a big roster, I play whatever. It's fine. If you run more than 20 wrestlers and, you're doing whatever, that's fine. But the bigger point is if you're going to say, well, someone's cheating, well, we can also say that, players can't share or flow strats. You have to use your own strats, and that would be ridiculous. And I think that, it's just another petty, snipey attack. Funny that I've only been in one stable officially. I was in a second stable called Blood, which was Mark put it together, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. I forget now, maybe longer than that. But the idea was going to be to enter the stable-cade thing, that would be a stable competition. And my plan was to go in with Senior Lucha and tank to cost the team. I was gonna give like a 5, but then I found out later that what it is like if you have so many players and so many wrestlers, the top 5 wrestlers of the stable or something like that, or however it works, are the ones that get counted. So it wouldn't have worked. I was like, damn it, that would have been awesome. And Mark's always been angry, or has been angry at me ever since the BRL went from a league champion getting a credit prize to the Battle Royal winner getting credit prize, because he saw it as a hit on him because he'd won so much money as a BRL champion with his wrestlers because Mark was good at the time. That's not really the case anymore, but that's okay. The game's fun. Like I was good for a while, like really good. Now I'm kind of like, whatever. But interesting to note that I've been, the stable virus where just Mark is with, ever since he put this post up, 2 of their bigger name members have quit the stable. And it's still a huge stable, so don't get confused. Like it's still a massive stable. I was only like a year or so ago, they asked me to join, and I didn't join. But I think there's a difference in cheating. I will say this: one of the players in the game a few years back was this guy Faz, and what he did, I do consider cheating. And what he did was he was part of a stable, and they had strats set up, right? And let's say if we were in the group and okay, Darren, you're gonna get strat B, and I'm gonna take C, whatever, and you knew what the mixes were. And what he did is used the same strats as other players had been given out that strat to use. So he ended up winning the world championship and blocking somebody else who technically should have had that strategy first. So I can see that be considered kind of cheating, and he kind of left the game after that. That was kind of a bad time.
So to be clear, because there's a lot of people that may have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. What this guy was doing, it was taking, he was supposed to be flowing with these strats. So they were like, oh, you were in a tag team with me. Here's my strat, flow off of it. So instead of, he would flow off that strat, but then take that strat that they were giving him without their permission, by the way. Just be clear on that, without their permission, and using it for one of his wrestlers.
Right, so and that's a good point. And it did, he was shunned. That was the end of it. He's never come back. And he sent me a big email inviting me to join the stable called IMT he is part of when that all went down. And that to me is cheating, because that would be that's
not necessarily. I don't even necessarily call it cheating. I call it being an asshole.
Right. I mean, if you're throwing a strategy out there, when we do the strategy workshop.
The strategy is a strategy, right? A strategy.
Right.
You give me a strategy. It could be anywhere from a 499 to a 489. Who the fuck knows? You have no prior knowledge of what the drops are going to be. The only way to cheat in this game proper, right, is to know what the drops are going to be, and then do a strategy that's going to be 501 perfect, right?
Right.
That's the only way to cheat. Everything else, stealing someone else's strat, yeah, that's a dick move, but it doesn't give you an unfair advantage. It's just you're a dick for stealing someone's strats. Doing what you do, and sharing strats, or even posting strats, that you literally posted strats and in our commissioners report before you do a workshop, telling people how to pick the strats, and you give them a sample strat which they could use for free if they so choose. None of that's cheating. This goes to me, and I like Mark, and me and Mark get along pretty well, but to me it's I kind of roll my eyes at this, because it's if it was anyone else other than you, we wouldn't have a problem. If it was me that did it, if me and Luke are sharing strats, it's not going to have a problem. If me and Scott were sharing strats, and flowing off, or I was giving people strats, he wouldn't have a problem. But it's you. It has nothing else. It has nothing to do with anything else.
Right.
The only thing it has to do is the fact that it's you, because he does not like you. But that's it's kind of weak sauce. And then, not to use your guys' names, and I don't like this whole well, I'm not going to use your name, and in these Facebook posts, it's everyone knows exactly who the fuck you're talking to. And talking about.
He's a gutless.
That's to me is to me, I'm that's more come on, bro. Come on. You're he's better than that. I think he's better than that. He's better than that. It's just,
he's not. He's a dick. It's just, I laugh because
air your grievances, but if you're gonna call someone out, at least call them up by name.
Right, and that's and again, it's a thing that, like you said, if anybody else, it wouldn't have been a big deal, and that's because these guys are flowing strats.
No one would have cared.
Right, and I think too is one of the things was, I had no idea this strat was going to win. I hope it was. No, I'll go back a couple cycles ago. It was a 29-26. I felt strongly about that. Mike and I did the workshop, and it was like, okay, that's exactly what I want to use. I feel really confident about it. And it paid out. It played out. But that's not to say there haven't been other times when I've been like, okay, I'm going to play 28 or 27s, right? And it doesn't drop. And this is how it works sometimes. So, I think with players in the game, there's certain players I don't like, and that's fine, but I always like...
I don't like anyone.
I know you don't.
I don't.
You like Luke, though.
Barely. He makes me laugh.
You like because he had Asian Neo Dragon.
He did.
But
I want to talk about something else. This is not technically cheating either, but I don't think it's cheating the game, but it's trying to circumvent rules. Is when someone has a fictitious brother or friend, and they're trying to get away with trying to get around the roster limits.
There you go. Yeah.
It's technically you're not cheating the game, but
right.
Technically you're also being an asshole, right?
Well,
and
I was gonna say on that. Remember the guy? I don't know if you were running NWL or it was me or it was when Jake had it. But there was a guy who came in and his son. I'm using finger quotes. His quote son was playing, and he literally said his son played for like, I think, 2-3 cycles, and his second or first cycle he won the IWA 6-man out of the NWL, and he essentially gave his son strats. Like, I mean, he's like, oh, he picked him. Like, whatever. I don't care. And honestly, I didn't care. It's like,
he did not care.
I would, whatever. It's fine. I'm not a big worry about it. It's kids playing. You want your kid to enjoy the game, and we really think that what we've built in NWL has helped produce a better game, lasting players, etc.
Agreed.
But I was in the big picture. There's a guy right now who was in NWL, and he'd written and kind of said like, hey, I probably should join the NWL. Do you care if I join? I'm like, absolutely, go join. I'd rather have you come in the league and learn, because it's not just in NWL. It's not just about learning the game. It's the community you build with the players you feud with. Because then you come out of there and look, like we have Stevie Vertigo, we got Mick Ferrari, we got Rec Brady all in the BRL now, and they're going to have things going on. And like there's history there to work off of.
Yeah.
Anyways, just I know Scott wanted to chime in too, so Scott can do another time. I think he's got his son this weekend. But
on Scott's behalf, don't be an asshole.
yeah. It's just like I said, it's
go Braves go.
It's something that
use real names. Come on.
Yeah, I know he wants to make little pokes, and I don't give a shit. Like I always feel like, I remember him leaving the BRL being like, "Oh, you're gonna collapse without me."
Right. It was
and I admitted openly on the show before that I do chuckle every time I see the ASL and he doesn't have the championship, because I know how greedy and obsessed he is with IWA credit. So when he doesn't win it, I chuckle. That's the thing I look at, And then I look at the report and go, "Oh, here comes the latest insult at us." Oh, we're libtards and Bolivar in the BRL. We're stupid, and it's like, dude, we're just trying to run a fun game. And the thing is, if you cared about that as much as you cared about winning IWA credit, maybe you'd enjoy the game more. But that's not my problem. You're somebody else's problem. And again, I always say the league. There's so many leagues in this game.
I wish the motherfuckers would say some shit about me. Oh, I wish. Give me a fucking reason. Give me a fucking. Oh, I love it.
You'll have your moment 20 years into the game.
Like come on the comment section. Like I light that motherfucker up last time. Like I wish a motherfucker would. Wish.
Hey, I want to say something here. I know I haven't been involved in this as long as all you guys, but I just want to say to anyone, if you're playing the game and you're not having fun doing it, fucking quit.
This message brought to you by
this is Jeff. So if anyone has a problem with that, Jeff, Jeff. I don't understand all the bickering back and forth. Like this is a fun, creative outlet for me, and for a lot of people, and it's something I enjoy and I look forward to doing. And like if you can't have fun with it and just enjoy it, go play pinochle or start flying kites or find another hobby.
I feel that Johnny B knows how to play pinochle. You think? Because I've heard the game before, pinochle before. I have no idea what the fuck it is though.
I don't either.
I don't think anyone really knows what kind of game it is.
Oh, Scott's here.
Scott, do you play Pinochle?
Scott, jump on if you can, unless you're a kid.
Scott,
But
Scott.
I'll say this. I want to say this little quick thing. I think I mentioned before, my dad's a model railroader, and Luke has made the comment that are there people that are this petty in other hobbies? Like,
Yes.
and I believe there are,
Yes.
but I think it's like competitive ones, you know? Competitive hobbies are the ones that get people, like, whether it's like, I have a cousin who does, well, I don't know the name of it, but like the dog competitions, the dog training. And I have another cousin who does competitive equestrian riding. And there's scoring. And anytime there's judges involved in scoring, you know, or competitive scoring things, you know, people get really razzed up, right? I was thinking this game is more like golf because we're competing against each other in certain ways, sure. But we're also competing against just the IWA, the holes. We're trying to pick the strategy out.
That's why I don't think the game is competitive. Like I don't view the game the same way everyone else does, where I'm competing against Matt. No, I'm competing against the IWA.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
So that's why the story elements, right? That's why it's important to me because, you know, any like if me and Matt have matches, right? If we have 100 singles matches, it would probably be like 51-49. You know what I mean? Like it would be that close anyway.
But I'd be 51, right?
You probably would be. You would win fucking 2 straight too, back to back, because you're a cocksucker. That's for goddamn sure. But that's the way it's go because it can go any way. It can literally like it just swings that way. It just
I think about this and trying to explain. Like my girlfriend knows all about this, and I've explained, and she knows like the Von Schnapps, and she knows Sena Lucha, and you know, like I said, the party she threw for me with my family at the surprise party was great. But you know, just the wrestling stuff. We go to New Japan show together. Went to the AEW together. You know,
She's a keeper, man. It sounds
yeah, I know she's great, and it's just
don't say that too loud because you be fucking listening.
I know, right? No, but like it's a thing where, you know, she hears us and she's like, "What the fuck's wrong with these people?" You know, it's like explaining to someone else outside the game and being like, "I don't like." I was explaining to the whole thing. She's like, "Well, why do they care? Like, if they've like, you know, like because people are petty and like some like there's a lot of guys in the game. Like I always say too, is like once you get to know people, they're like pretty normal people. And I know for a long time, and this is kind of a certain part of the game in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, the Angel Fire era, if you will, the message boards and the flame wars. And there's some guys that are still obsessed with like having a persona, you know, and being like, you know, this guy, whatever. And it's like, no, dude, I don't have time for that shit. You know, that's why I never got in the dungeon. What's that?
Were they like the Vince Russo of the IWA back then?
Kind of. It was like a lot of personal attacks.
To me, it'd be like it's more like these guys on Twitter who think they're pro wrestling heels. You know what I mean? Like if you've ever seen those guys.
Right.
Well,
And
we've got a couple of comments in the chat. We have Darren saying
9 inches.
Did Jeff to go fly a kite? And we have Kevin saying, is Jeff's neck vein popping right now?
Well, don't ask Jeff about Mountain Dews and their various flavors.
the Walmart.
I'm not upset. I'm not angry. I don't understand I guess I don't understand the competitive aspect of the game. You know, I don't get mad and, you know, throw my mouse if I don't, you know, score a 500. You know, it's a total crapshoot every cycle.
It's bingo.
Yeah.
You know, and it's fun. And, you know, I look at this, it's like a brotherhood. I mean, let's be honest. All right. We are a bunch of grown men and probably some women who
at least the one that we know about.
In the year 2022 are playing a play-by-mail fantasy wrestling game. That's how much we love professional wrestling. All right, it should be a brotherhood. We all should be able to get along because we're all pretty much the same people. This is our tribe, you know? So this is like my why can't we all just get along statement, I guess.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
They like us. They don't like Matt.
Alex, can you drop the link for Scott again, for the Skype link?
Oh, sure.
I tried to do it.
Yeah. No,
Are you there?
Scott,
I thought I heard him before.
the Braves game has to be over by now.
Freddie's trying to keep himself on my roster.
Freddie
Yeah,
got, Freddie got fingered.
Triple
The,
today.
the Braves were done. The Braves were done beating the Pirates like 5 hours ago.
Nice.
I heard they're playing this weekend.
Oh yeah, they sweat. It's brutal.
Damn.
Just absolutely brutal.
Oh, well, Scott, you want to chime in on this whole thing?
I don't think he's here.
I sent
There,
the link again.
All right, we'll get him in here in a second. So I did know.
Motherfucker's going to end up like fucking Johnny Depp on their defamation fucking trial soon. It'd be
Well,
awesome.
I had mentioned in that thread that we'll talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
So shit fuck mentioned
I
again.
see the view counts, motherfuckers.
Yeah, he says, I didn't listen. I can't stand me. Well, he can't stand me. Don't listen to the
Well,
story show.
I can't stand you either. So I do the show with you
And
every fucking week.
Franklin's kind of like the guy you detest girlfriends. You don't really like because I don't know how, like, dude, are you drunk when you write this stuff?
Maybe.
Like, get a fucking sponsor. Like, come on, man. Like, if you're gonna be a tough guy, behind a keyboard, that's fine. But like, eat a sandwich or something, or like, get some energy because you're writing nonsense. It says this: Franklin's kind of like the guy you detest girlfriend. You don't really dislike him, but guilt by association kind of deal. What? Like,
He's comparing Scott to like this douchebag's girlfriend, right? He had really nothing against the girl other than the fact that she's dating this dude. That's what he's trying to attempt to
anyways.
talk about poorly.
Again, like I said, he's irrelevant in the game nowadays. So really, this is the only thing he can do to keep, and again, when Scott's ready to chime in, he can drop the hammer too. But I will say this: I think I've made it pretty clear that my goal when I was an NWL commissioner, when we created the NWL and we do this goal strategy workshop, the goal is to have every player do better, to make the report, for more than just a rookie brawl win. When I see guys in the NWL go on to win titles and hit big things, it's great. I'd love to see that. I know we all put a lot of pressure on ourselves to win titles and try to, we have events going on. But I will say this, one thing I wanted to bring up too, Mike Durham stepped in to kind of respond to the original post. And among the many things he said, thank you first for the guys that stood up for me. I appreciate that. I know you don't have to do that. But it's appreciated when people step to bat and be like, and like Robbie Blood made a good point about talking about the way things are, and Tommy Zulu hit nailed it type thing, really talked about it well. But I think what's important is one of the things Mike brought up was about he thinks the game as a whole, it's I don't want to say it's unfair, but it's a fallacy that players like us who are small roster players can compete with the big roster players, and to some degree, I believe that's true. It's just
but we
numbers.
play anyway.
Right, and that's the thing. We have so much going on in the IWAR. That's why I always say, like, if you want to really impress me, run a better game than we do. Run better, have better storylines, have better things going on. We do these shows. Alex, you getting paid for this?
Nope.
Well,
Trying.
If you support us with the Amazon affiliate link, click that link and then order your Amazon stuff. Ching. Or dig that. Anyways, my point being that I think, like, even what I've learned from Mike Cook in these last few months, I'm getting better. Is Scott there?
Scott, live from a bunker in New Mexico.
He's in the Bad Company bunker in Western California.
He's pointing to his
Penis.
Oh, the show is off the rails.
squish his head.
Where you at, bro?
Squish your head.
Nice.
Squish your head.
Nice. All right,
Squish your
so
head. I squish your head.
This is the
hey
air.
Jay, Joshua, woo!
My son's looking at me like I'm a retard. Oh, so, excuse me.
Hey, take
Special
it easy.
needs.
Oh.
Let me get that right.
Oh. take it
Sorry,
easy.
Mark. I don't take a person. Then I stopped talking.
There it is.
Way to beep that out, guys. Apologize.
Here's your swearing a lot.
Way to beep that one out.
It's just 10 minutes of. I don't know what you heard, if you heard any what I said, but feel free to respond to it however you want to respond to it. Well, I guess what I'm saying.
What did we used to say? Oh yeah. Fuck those guys?
FTG, baby.
It's not working.
What's not working? Put your shirt back on.
We hear you. We hear you.
We need to do a show live from Matt's house sometime. We'll all travel.
You hear me, but I don't hear anything else. Hold on. Something's not working for me.
That's what I usually say to somebody else right before I drop the hammer. This isn't working for me, brother.
Well, I wanna.
Is Scott having audio issues? Is that what it is?
He can't hear us.
He can't hear us at all?
No.
Well, he's probably the luckiest guy on the planet right now.
I feel.
I can hear it.
I feel
You
like
can hear
we
it.
have,
I can hear you.
I feel like
We can hear you.
viewers on YouTube in a while. Everyone's tuning in to hear the hot, juicy gossip.
Well, you call us out, you're gonna get the call out the thunder, you get the lightning, baby. Is that the Jeff will know this? Isn't that the line from Tombstone?
What's that? What
The line from Tombstone, you call out the lightning and you get the thunder, or vice versa.
Oh, you called down the thunder. Yeah, that was when Wyatt Earp was at the train station.
Yes.
Yeah. You called down the thunder. Hell's coming with me, or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
That, by the way, one of my favorite lines at work would say to somebody like, "I'll see you next week," and I'm bringing hell with me. What? It's to randomly mess with people. We're not scaring them in the store.
I have tombstone pizzas.
Well, Scott,
What would you like on your tombstone?
Scott, we can hear you, so you can feel free to let out.
It's the airing of the grievances. We have the Festivus poll set up.
Shaking his head no.
I'm writing, let him know that we can hear him.
I can hear you too.
Then say something, you fuck.
I'm trying to.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Baker's dozen of our fans. It's an all-time high, and no Russians, may I add.
Everyone's tuning in to hear what Scott has to say.
It's not perfect.
We're up to 14 viewers now.
That's it. They're coming
The
for
Ukrainian
us.
audience is
14
tuning in.
viewers. I'm sure one of them's Duchesne.
They want to hear the hot take with Frankie Scott.
Now, we have Ukrainian bots now because all the Russian bots are not tuning in anymore.
Oh, right, yeah. It's tough.
By the way, guys, if you want to join to become a member, you can be an IWAR for 99 cents. That's right, 99 cents a month.
And I did the Canadian conversion specifically for Darren, and that's approximately $10.12. So make sure you sign up, all of our Canadian fans as well.
And all proceeds will go to John of Revolution's Home for Girls Who Won't Go All the Way.
It's a good cause.
Can anyone hear me chewing gum, by the way?
No, I don't hear you.
Okay, good.
Chewing gum.
I heard that.
Well, I quit smoking, so I have to chew this gum.
I want to hear Scott's take, or maybe you don't have a take. I don't know if you heard me rambling about our thoughts on
I said go fuck yourself on Scott's behalf. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sums it up.
I feel like, no matter how many times they mention us in their trash talk or their league report.
Or they create wrestlers with our names.
Oh, yeah, that's another good one, too. I bet if I spell his name backwards, he won't notice. I didn't notice. It was somebody else who said to me. Who was the guy who had his promo was like a whole page long, and the first letter of each thing was like F. Matt Riley?
Yeah, that was funny. That was
Like,
that was a
boy,
stable that was a
that's-
stable initial for a while, wasn't it?
And it was so good. He had to point it out to me. I was like, oh, great. Yeah. So
That's what FTR got their initials from, by the way. That was the thing. That was the thing. That was the thing.
we have a mole. We have a mole.
FMR.
Absolutely.
Fuck Matt Riley. That was a thing for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, I struck the hornet's nest by having Sandy Lucha wear an FMR shirt
Yeah.
when he won the world championship.
Good. Good.
Oh yeah. Well, I really hope somebody wins the world championship from the NWL or the IWAR, like any IWAR league, really.
I hope it's the backstabber.
Scott, your mic is showing is muted.
I think the backstabber tore his pec recently, so he might be out for a few months.
The ultimate heel. I was. It was funny. Over the years, people were like, oh, hey, Matt Riley. And then they get to know me like, oh, you run good leagues and you're out like whatever. And I'm like, yeah. And like probably Blood was talking about things. And like people who play in the BRL, you do what you want. We're trying to get better all the time. The report I did in 2012 is not as good as the one I did in 2014.
Trash.
It's garbage. And I think an important thing for a commissioner to remember is you're there to help the league improve, the players improve, not to like make your guys like every storyline, whatever,
Unless you're me.
Well, Luther Alexander and the RX are part of this gigantic storyline, so it's not like,
But that would be the same wherever we would go.
So
when I go to the TDL, I'll be the top guy in the TDL for sure.
TDL.
So
I wanted to be the TDL, like TDL. All right, are we ready here?
We'll
for Scott
start
yet?
off with the NWL. So, gentlemen, what's going down in the NWL?
Well, I personally, I'm amazed at the level of talent we have coming through the NWL at the moment. Now, I feel like there was a bit of a transition phase. We had groups like the Syndicate and the Industry, the Grady's, Mike Dynasty and his crew as well. Those guys were kind of wrapping up their tenure towards the end of 2021, and I kind of started to help running the NWL around that period as well. So I was kind of concerned, how are we going to fill this gap that's going to be left? But we've got some really amazing writers in the NWL right now. We've got the manager of My Two Dads, Dark Danger, Oliver Livingston, Caesar Sterling as well, the Nationalist, John Drake. So 2022, I feel like there was maybe a bit of a lull at the beginning of the year, but now the NWL I think is on a bit of an upswing now, and we're going to be heading towards some big storylines coming up pretty soon. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I can tell you this much. The TT we're going to get into here, but the Nationalist and the new comrades of the Nationalists, Axel Eaton and Flex Hardbody, that was a tremendous TT that they dropped this cycle.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see Mark Justice back.
Yep.
Mark Justice was gone for a few cycles. I think that Ryoto on Euro, or however you pronounce it, I think that's going to be an amazing addition to the NWL. Number 6, John Drake, and then of course some of the carryovers like Father Conrad and Father Arturo, and Honor Revolt.
About Honor Revolt as well, because Honor Revolt, maybe while guys like Stevie Vertigo and Rhett Grady and Rod Camino and Mick Ferrari were kind of stealing the headlines towards the end of 2021, HNR, Honor Revolt, Nick Dane, Lachlan Kincaid, and Wolf Keenan were kind of all doing their thing all the while, and they're continuing on here, and I think they're going to be pretty big prospects in the IWAR moving forward as well. And there's this big storyline in the NWL. I was emailing with the manager of HNR, and there's this big, intricate storyline happening with Honor Revolt, the members of Death Syndicate, Zanroar, Cell Block Charlie, and Shackles Malone. And they're looping in Johnny Aztec, Mark Justice, Dark Danger, Dave the Decision Wasilewski. And this is just like a huge storyline that's going on in the NWL right now. I think these are almost the core group of guys who are going to carry on the NWL through most of 2022.
Yeah, and if I had to make a very early prediction right now for the IWAR draft, I would say that Honor Revolt would probably be my number 1 overall draft pick.
I think that's a pretty safe bet. I mean,
you can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, there's a glut of talent coming through the NWL right now.
But you want to kick it off, Aaron?
Yeah, sure. So, but speaking of the new Wave League, we start off with the TT from the old of the New Wave League, and we have Stevie Vertigo and his new stable, Legends of the New Wave. They're trying to make some inroads in the BRL. Stevie Vertigo during this TT is the IWAR Revolution champion, and he's basically calling out No Limits Nick Dane and the Nationalist, who are the 2 finalists in the NWL All-Rookie Cup. And, of course, the winner of that match will go on to face Stevie Vertigo for the IWAR Revolution Championship. And should I spill the beans here, Matt? Do you want me to delve into how this shakes down?
Go ahead. Yeah, totally.
All right, so Stevie's TT, basically the winner of the All-Rookie Cup goes on to take on Stevie Vertigo. The 2 finalists in the All-Rookie Cup are No Limits Nick Dane from HNR and a relative newcomer to the New Wave League, the Nationalist. And I have to give a big congratulations to No Limits Nick Dane for winning the 2022 All-Rookie Cup.
You're here.
Nick Dane and Honor Revolt in general, I mean, they've been cleaning up gold in the NWL for at least the last year or so. No Limits Nick Dane, I was kind of pulling for him to win the NWL Young Lions Championship somewhere along the way. He's heading towards the end of his NWL tenure, but it's really great to see him win the All-Rookie Cup. And then also this cycle, he goes on to face Stevie Vertigo. So no Limits Nick Dane actually beats Stevie Vertigo for the IWAR Revolution Championship. So a big shout out to Honor Revolt, No Limits Nick Dane. That's a pretty huge cycle. He ends up beating the Nationalist 491 to 490. And then he goes on to beat Stevie Vertigo 491 to 490 as well. So, I mean, speaking of the IWAR in general, if you end up having somewhat of a lousy cycle, IWA-wise, there's, from what I've learned since being in the IWAR since last January, there's still a chance that you can kind of have a little bit of success in the IWAR, win some free matches, and continue on, building your resume. Even if you have, somewhat of a down cycle, you can still clean up a little bit as far as the IWAR-wide contests.
Now, here's a question. So now Nick Dane is the IWAR Revolution champ, correct?
That's how I understand it. Yeah.
Doesn't deserve it.
Okay. So, how do we determine the next challenger?
The next challenger for the Revolution Championship?
Yeah.
That comes down to event winners. So whoever wins the Johnny B Cup, then there's the Summer Series, the Bound for Glory. We also have others like the Best of 7 Series winner. So it can be sometimes where it's a triple threat match because there's so many people in there. But generally speaking, the winner of IWAR events gets a challenge for the Revolution Championship. That's a
pretty prestigious title. So for No Limits Nick Dane to be holding that title right now and still be in the NWL, that's pretty neat.
Yeah,
so,
it hasn't happened very often.
Congratulations to Honor Revolt.
And I do want to correct something quickly on NWL. I think our last show I mentioned how I was calling him Father Carl. Father Conrad was the first wrestler in a long time to win the Grand Slam. And I'm like, Jonathan's like, no. I'm like, oh yeah, Dave Wasilewski just did it. But that's actually the third. Crazy Carl did it before them, but that's still 3 times.
Former member of Revolution Extreme, Crazy Carl.
Yes, R.I.P.
He's dead.
4-1 for Crazy Carl. But just as far as the limits of that being a very rare and amazing accomplishment, well done. That doesn't happen in really tough leagues. I mean, the league's tough anyways, but it doesn't really happen that often. So it's a really great feat to pull off. So correction, there you go.
I remember for myself when I first joined, it was the wrestler Yoko Tuna, who I think it was my 3rd or 4th cycle in, and Yoko Tuna cleaned up. He won the league title, the elite championship. But then in the last couple of months, we've had a couple of, Grand Slam champions as well as Rookie Brawl winners. So, I mean, that just maybe speaks to the level of talent that's coming through the NWL at the moment.
Yeah, I think we talked about this not too long ago, and we have this conversation about once a year where we say, oh, man, all these guys are leaving. How are we going to put the league together again? How's it going to go? And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. And you mentioned earlier the promo from the Nationalists and that crew, and just how much this cycle it went from it's some agitating words or whatever provocative stuff to really 3-dimensional watching a promo go down. So great work by that. And again, some guys will say they feel intimidated. Don't worry about it, dude. This is where you find your character and flesh them out. So reach out to Jeff and Aaron and say, hey, I think you guys have talked about it before. If you want a logo caption across the top, a name bar, it's a great way to tell us who you are, because what do we hate more than anything? Promos with no one attached to it.
Especially
whose promo is it? Sorry.
And Luke's responsible for overthrowing governments, so you don't want to get on his bad side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can even whip up a template for your TTs. If you want something that's a little more eye popping, anything like that, reach out to me in the NWL locker room or through the NWL commissioner email.
That's right. But as far as TT up next, we've got one of the few female wrestlers in the NWL, the Wicked Spider, Ericophobia. And we've kind of had a fluctuation of female talent in the NWL at the moment. It's basically between the Wicked Spider, Ericophobia, and the Angel of Light, Angelina Blanco, who is the current NWL Lioness champion. We had Sinister Moon from the Devil's Rejects stable as well, but we haven't heard from Sinister Moon in a couple of cycles. So basically, we're looking at Angelina Blanco, we're looking at Ericophobia. Ericophobia.
Close the door.
Aaron, are you on a subway?
I'm on my way to Boston. No.
Are you doing it live from a Panera?
Only Mike Drake can do a Tubecast live from a train. Okay, that's how that works.
That's right.
But yeah, we had Ericophobia. She kind of comes out to congratulate Angelina Blanco, but then she turns on Angelina, who's the current Lioness champion. Gives her a double stomp off the top rope onto a chair, and she basically says to NWL Commissioner Johnny B, I want a Lioness title shot at the next Clash, or I'm going to the BWL. So she's kind of pulling an MJF here, she's saying, you got to give me what I feel like I'm worth, or I'm moving on to another league. She ends up beating Sinister Moon at the most recent Futurescape event. So Ericophobia is now the #1 contender for the Lioness Championship. She's going to face Angelina Blanco at Clash 23. And, we'll see what happens after that. If Erica wins the Lioness title, maybe she sticks around to defend it, or maybe she's going to pack her bags and head to the burgeoning BWL pretty soon, which is pretty tempting, I must say, because the BWL is off to a pretty hot start in the IWAR.
Indeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they got a lot of virgins.
Yeah, I'm thinking that there's a discussion to be had at some point in the future of the long-term viability of the Lioness title with the BWL in operation. So
yeah, bunch of jerks. It's like having too many Mountain Dew flavors.
Exactly. So moving on here, we got the first of several intertwining TTs. This one from Father Conrad and Father Arturo, the confessional corner. And starts off, Father Arturo's got a black eye from the attack by Dark Danger. And he basically says Dark Danger's going to get his, and he's going to get it soon. But in the meantime, my two dads has their eyes set on tag team gold. So they have a match coming up with a rookie tag team of Axel Eaton and Flex Hardbody, but they're kind of looking past them and saying that they want a shot at Death Row and the Young Lions tag team title. And they also have an issue going on with Devil's Rejects, and they say that Devil's Rejects will get their blessing very soon. Angelina Blanco comes in. She's the guest on the confessional corner. She also doesn't like Death Row. So, and you're going to see a trend here in the TTs that nobody likes Death Row.
That's right.
Yeah. And then moving on, we have the Teamster with his baby boy, El Hijo de Teamster. And Teamster's he's not satisfied with the development of his son. He's kind of been giving him a hard time that, he hasn't been able to quote unquote carry one of these NWL rookies to tag team glory. And that, 59 times now, he has let the Teamster down. And on top of that, he let America down. So El Hijo, he's always trying to be, get gratification from his dad. And he says, can we talk about that I beat Nick Gemini to qualify for the X1 title shot? And Teamster cuts him off and says, no, you're going to be the next greatest tag team wrestler of all time. So far, you've sucked. So the Teamster has been throwing out veiled threats and taunts at a newcomer, Ryoto. And he says that vigilantes have no place in the NWL. And he ends it by saying that a newcomer, Super Dragon, maybe he's the one. Maybe he's the one that could finally carry his son to the tag team titles.
And how many free matches are we up to, Matt, with the Teamster Challenge?
It is now up to 70.
Woo!
70 free NWL matches, and I was thinking about this, like ways to make it more appealing. And I thought, what if we did it so? Because how the IWAR now sets it that any wrestler who's inactive more than 2 cycles gets like a jobber schedule or jobber strat.
Right.
We could make it that we'll do is the cycle you get it, the next cycle you face 70 jobbers and just rattle off 70 wins. How would that help your record?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think ways to market it, because I feel like we're close. And I will say this. Going to try to make the Teamster Hio's strategy more competitive, to make it a little more,
And we've had some teams, we've had some guys team up with Hio to Teamster and lose by 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
So guys are getting involved, and they're coming really damn close. And I got to say that's a big chunk of matches to be leaving on the table moving forward.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And, it seems like a lot of the same wrestlers are teaming with El Hijo de Teamster every cycle. So at some point, you have to figure that, the stars are going to align for somebody. Just keep that in mind. That's a big old matzo ball hanging out there, 70 free matches for somebody.
Big time.
Moving on, we've got a complete scumbag, Caesar Sterling, who's sitting with his feet up on a beach. He after the last tour, NWL tour, the last cycle, he decided he needed to get away. So he had his yacht, the Prima Donna, take him down to an island, and he's there on the beach, and he's just enjoying the weather. And Pedro, his manservant, comes along to bring him a drink and gives him his phone and says, "You have a call from Florida." And it turns out that Caesar Sterling is actually scalping baby formula.
Good for him.
He's got trucks of it coming in, and he tells Pedro to get some of his amigos from down Burrito Town to stand out on the highway and sell those cans for $20 a piece. It's all about supply and demand. I mean, you don't become a wealthy elite scumbag without, taking advantage of the little people. And over the last few months, there's been a budding rivalry between Nick Dane and Caesar Sterling. Nick Dane constantly calls Caesar Sterling Fredo, and Caesar Sterling continues to tell Nick Dane that, you've got so much God-given talent. You're beloved by millions of pre-teenage girls, but you're the poster boy for failure. But now Nick Dane is the IWAR Revolution champion, so obviously he's not the poster boy for failure. Caesar Sterling also doesn't like Harry Hurt. He says that, he's a man who just failed so magnificently in his career that he actually retired, and then came back and had the gall to put fabulous in front of his name. And says that, congratulations on talking Johnny B into placing him into a pay-per-view match with the Caesar. So we'll see how that works out. He says, if you ever want to grace the ring with me again, you better be bringing that X1 championship with you. And then Caesar Sterling has a match with Rod Camino at Futurescape coming up. Kind of just a last hurrah type match for Rod Camino before he goes off to his new league. So that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. And finally, it seems that Caesar Sterling has finally found the first official student to join the Academy. So watch for that to be revealed over the next cycle or two. We don't know who that is, but I guarantee you it's going to be a big surprise.
But what we do know is the lessons from Caesar. He's been pontificating on various lessons that he's learned in life. So do you want to delve into the lessons from Scumbag 101 a little bit?
Yeah, Scumbag 101 is every cycle a lesson for the common folk. And this cycle, Caesar Sterling has a picture of a voluptuous woman, and he says, "Don't laugh. Even fat girls have feelings." He says it's mostly hunger, but it is a feeling.
Amazing.
Yeah, there you go. I'm just noticing all this. God. If you look at Doctor Style Slick dancing with Hakeem, impressive. Get a big rooster, win a free iPhone 5. What you talking about, Willis?
I totally broke the thing.
My two dads. There it is. Wow.
I deleted. I think I deleted the border. I have to find it right now.
It's doing well with whatever's there. So there you go. All right.
Not that I wasn't listening to the NWL stuff. I just been fucking around.
Nice.
Do you want to take the next one, Jeff, or do you want me to grab that?
Yeah, I'll take it. So we've got number 6, John Drake, another up-and-comer in the NWL. So he's having an interview with Dapper Dandy, and he gives some props to a wrestler named Juicebox Hero.
Juicebox Hero
was his tag team partner, and they did manage to win a match together. So he says that Juicebox Hero has proved himself to be someone who's ready to do battle at all costs, and that they are undefeated as a team. And he, Dapper Dandy asks him, about how the Teamster and El Hijo de Teamster has insulted him, and that he has also had some words for the Nationalists. Now, this is another budding rivalry. The Nationalist and John Drake. John Drake's been throwing out these taunts, and the Nationalist hasn't really been picking up on them. But it seems like this cycle, that is all, those chickens have come home to roost. John Drake says that as for the Nationalist, I've called him out. I haven't heard a response, but, he's ready. Whenever the Nationalist wants to step, John Drake, number 6, will be ready. He says that any place, anytime.
And that leads right into the Nationalist TT. We've got the Nationalist, and we've got his cronies or his allies. American Axel Eaton and Mr. USA Flex Hardbody going to the next show in a Toyota Corolla rental, and they're kind of hanging out. Axel Hardbody is trying to find a song to play during the road trip. He stumbles across the song Photograph by Def Leppard.
God damn it.
Flex Hardbody's in the back. He's oiling himself up. The other members of the crew aren't sure why he's oiling himself up, even though they're 4 hours away from their next show that they're going to perform. Meanwhile, Axel Eaton throws on Photograph by Def Leppard so loud that no one can actually hear what each other's saying. Overall, I thought this was a great TT. I mean, obviously we have someone with a lot of talent as far as writing TTs. They've got some WWE 2K19 ability, it seems like, with creating their characters as well.
Absolutely.
Throughout this TT, they're kind of enhancing whatever feuds they're into. They're dropping names like Rod Kino and Caesar Sterling as well. And overall, this TT kind of reminds me of like something akin to like Rod Camino. So it kind of gives me hope that we have these talents stepping up in the NWL, like My Two Dads, and of course this new team, the Nationalist, Sweet American Heat, Axel Eaton, and Mr. USA Flex Hardbody. They're going to be known moving forward as American Express, which I just love that stable name. The Nationalist, of course, is a 2022 All-Rookie Cup finalist against Nick Dane. He goes on to lose that match against Nick Dane, but I mean, as a newcomer to the NWL, it's great to see him go all the way to the finals. I think I smell a future Young Lions championship in the Nationalist. Sweet American Heat, Axel Eaton, and Flex Hardbody are going to go on to challenge for the Young Lions championship at some point, hopefully. And yeah, overall, just a great TT from the American Express stable.
Yeah. We got a couple quick ones, a couple quick hitter TTs here. We've got Nick Gemini.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him in a couple of cycles, so this is kind of a TT. I think Zanroar, he went on basically a massacre last cycle. He was just taking on all comers, kicking the shit out of everyone he could come across, and Nick Gemini was one of them. And it seems like Nick Gemini was inspired to respond this cycle with a TT.
Yeah, and it's real quick. I mean, basically, it's just Zanroar's walking down the hallway, and Nick Gemini comes at him with a chair, beats him with the chair a few times, grabs a steel pipe, beats him with that a few times, and then he says, very politely, I might add, it doesn't feel too good when the shoes are on the other foot, now does it? And Zanroar struggles to get up, Nick smashes him again, and Nick walks off. So Zanroar gets a little bit of his own medicine. We also got Father Conrad dropping a singles TT. So Father Conrad is in the Lethal Lottery. And in the Lethal Lottery, he got matched up with, of all people, Jax McAllister. Jax McAllister is a BRL guy, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, Jax McAllister at the BRL. And they're going to be facing Mick Ferrari and his Lethal Lottery partner, Colonel Doom. That is an odd couple right there, because we know in the past Mick Ferrari and Colonel Doom have not had a good relationship. Right. Colonel Doom constantly was calling Mick Ferrari a sheep lover in so many words. So we'll see if they'll be able to coexist. But basically, Father Conrad's just saying that he has no problem teaming with Jax McAllister, and he thinks that they've got a chance to go all the way in the lethal lottery.
That's right.
And then right after that, we got Colonel Doom with his Swan Song TT. Very quick Swan Song TT. Again.
I feel like Colonel Doom is almost doing like a Rolling Stones or Madonna-esque farewell tour of the NWL. Because I feel like it's been a few cycles that he's been like doing a bit of an elongated swan song the last few cycles.
Well, I guess he wanted one last chance to heckle the NWL crowd because, he comes out and just says, shut up. I've always hated you people. Not exactly. That's the way to get Rob Conway heat right there.
Good cut.
So Colonel Doom says that he has entered the lethal lottery, and he sure hopes that he doesn't get teamed up with someone like Playboy Mick Ferrari, because he has a liking for the sheep. And Colonel Doom's going to be heading off to the BRL. I think he's already in the BRL, right? And he's part of the Pain and Destruction stable, which we know is led by Monster Truck Tanaka.
A winner is me.
All you, Aaron.
All right, so up next we've got Death Row, Shackles Malone and Cell Block Charlie. They're breaking into Johnny B's office. Of course, NWL Commissioner Johnny B. There's this big entangled web happening between Death Row, Zanroar, HNR, Mark Justice, Dark Danger, Johnny Aztec, and all these guys. And they're basically snooping around in Johnny B's office, trying to hack into his computer. And then at the end, it says to Cell Block Charlie, attack HNR, and I'll give you 3 times the usual fee. So there's something going on here. I need to really maybe sit with it for a couple of days on a mountaintop somewhere and absorb exactly what's happening here, because it's kind of fucking with my head a little bit. And I feel like there's a few layers to this, and I'm going to keep tuning in just to see how this shakes down.
Yeah, there's a lot of different factions and stables and teams and singles wrestlers that are working together here.
It kind of reminds me of like the X-Men's like Dark Phoenix or something, or like the Final Crisis, because it's looping in so many different factions and there's so many different layers that I think there's maybe a more intricate story being told here than I even realize.
Well, hopefully we'll get some clarity next week or 2 weeks from now.
That's right.
Probably not.
You want to go ahead and take Honor Revolt?
Sure. So we've got H&R. As I mentioned just now, they have an ongoing storyline with Zanroar and Death Row. They're getting into a brawl backstage. There's some sort of mystery happening, as I mentioned, with Death Syndicate hacking into computers and USB sticks. Nick Dane has an ongoing conflict, as we mentioned earlier, with Caesar Sterling. These are 2 of the top stars in the NWL at the moment. Nick also, I don't think he particularly likes Fabulous Harry Hurt, but I think Nick really proved that the cream rises to the top in winning the All Rookie Cup 2022. He goes on to win the IWAR Revolution Championship as well. Lachlan Kincaid and Wolf Keenan mentioned that they're going to be gunning for the NWL Young Lions Tag Team Championship coming up. And then I just made a note to myself that we have kind of a burgeoning NWL Tag Team division as well. I think Wolf Keenan and Lachlan Kincaid are part of. We've got My Two Dads in there as well. We also have Axel Eaton and Flex Hardbody. We have Death Row, of course, who are the Young Lions Tag Team Champions. And as a fan of tag team wrestling myself, I'm really excited to see how that's shaken down.
Yeah, and as we're going to find out in an upcoming TT here, it looks like Johnny Aztec has brought in another beast to team with. So we might have another tag team jumping into the mix.
That's right.
Next up, we got Mark Justice. Mark Justice, who's making his return. Mark Justice had a bit of a rough stretch. He was involved in some really violent matches. He was an honorary Grady family member for a little while.
We're on the train again.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was an honorary Grady family member for a little while, and now he's back, and he's healthy, and he's 100% again. So there's a match going on between Nick Dane and Maniac Manny, and as this match is progressing, all of a sudden, Death Row, Cell Block Charlie and Shackles Malone, they run out and they start putting the boots to Nick Dane. So Mark Justice makes his triumphant return, runs down, and he helps out Nick Dane. And then the rest of H&R Revolt come down. But it looks like Mark Justice is aligning himself with Honor Revolt, at least for the time being. And Honor Revolt being as strong as they are, we know Mark Justice is a very strong character in the NWL.
That's right. And I think you were mentioning earlier, potential top draft picks in the IWAR draft coming up later this year. And I think, possibly Mark Justice could be a sleeper pick in the IWAR draft as well, because he's had a really solid 2021 into 2022. And I think that could be a bit of a diamond in the rough as far as the IWAR draft.
Yeah, I mean, I think from this point forward, depending on what Mark Justice is able to do, he could definitely make himself a potential, top pick. No doubt about it. I mean,
I think something that'll bolster Mark Justice's case is that after doing some number crunching, we're going to have, this is just fresh breaking news, in the next Clash of Champions card, Clash 23, we're going to have Mark Justice, who defeated Zanroar, of all people, 488 to 486 to move on to the Clash of Champions triple threat match for the Young Lions Championship, and the other participant is going to be Machine, who's going to be in that triple threat match. So we're going to have Caesar Sterling versus Machine versus Mark Justice for the currently vacant NWL Young Lions Championship.
Wow, that's big news. I hope that if you manage Mark Justice or Machine and you're listening to the Tubecast, keep that in mind before you drop your TTs for this coming cycle.
That's right.
Next up, we have Ryoto, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. I think it's Ryoto Onryo, right?
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, Ryoto Onryo. This is a very deep, numerous layers to this character. I think he's kind of supernatural in a way, because it seems like every time he shows up anywhere, there's like mist and lightning and all kinds of stuff going on. But this is such a well-written TT, and everything that this wrestler's dropped so far has been very well-written, and the graphics are just unreal. Almost, I'm actually very jealous of the graphics because I don't have that kind of talent, and I wish I did. But he is laying it all on the line here, basically saying that he is coming in, and I hate to paraphrase this because it's so well written, but I just can't read this whole thing. He's saying that a dragon is going to rise, and it is he. And he has heard the Teamster loud and clear, and he knows that the Teamster for some reason has a hard-on for him. And he is going to listen to the ancient cries of countless victims that are begging for a reprisal. He says, your ancestors inflicted great suffering without remorse, and their sins are now yours to answer for. You and your feeble pup, his time will come. And then he calls out.
Wow, that's dark.
Yeah, then he calls out by name Argoyle Warborn, Skalgrim Redbeard, and Nick Gemini. says that they're all warriors. They've all paid the price in defeat. But he says, yet I expect the blood spilled is not enough to wash away the enduring depravity you have inherited. This is like reading like Edgar Allan Poe or something. And he does not like my two dads. He says, I do not know of your God. Mortal gods do not speak to me. So he has an issue with my two dads as well. It seems like everybody has an issue with my two dads or Death Row. But this is an interesting character that I actually, this cycle when the report dropped, I scrolled down specifically to find the TT from this character because I've been enjoying them so much.
Right. And up next, we've got another TT by Dark Danger, another kind of part of the NWL core coming up. I found this TT particularly interesting because it's sort of a backstory about Dark Danger. He goes into details about how he was bullied growing up. He had his face burned at one point by some bullies, and that's why he dons a mask currently. And, there's a couple of these stables and a couple of these wrestlers that are kind of looking for vengeance for misdeeds that were, caused in the past. And this is another guy who has issues with my two dads. Dark Danger seems to view my two dads as a couple of, maybe he views them as perpetrators or people who would have caused harm to him in the past. So he's going to be gunning for my two dads as well. And then, overall, Dark Danger's just been a solid contributor as far as TT since he came into the league probably 4 or 5 cycles ago.
Yeah, it's nice to get some backstory on Dark Danger because, with the masks that he wears and just the kind of the oddball style, it really kind of puts it in perspective now why Dark Danger is what he is. And that's what you want to do when you're writing a character. You want to make sure that people understand the motivations that your character has. And Dark Danger did that with this TT. Next up, we've got Oliver Livingston, the everyday hero. So he's getting ready to board a flight from Paris to New York City, and he sees Caesar Sterling, who's arguing with airport security. Apparently, Caesar Sterling was booked for coach instead of first class, and he wasn't very happy about it. Well, little does he know, Caesar Sterling doesn't usually fly commercials, so there must have been some kind of issue with the FBO or something where his private plane got delayed. So Caesar Sterling finally calms down, takes his seat, and Oliver Livingston goes and sits down, and what do you know? Dapper Dandy just happens to be sitting in a seat right next to him.
He's finally going to get a chance with Oliver Livingston to have a normal interview.
Yeah, right? Every time he goes to interview him, some crisis breaks out that Oliver Livingston has to take care of. There's fires in movie theaters and babies that need delivered and all kinds of stuff. So Dapper Dandy's just having a nice, quiet, calm interview. And Oliver Livingston's basically saying it was an honor to be in the Willowick Classic. And Clash 23 is right around the corner. And he plans on being a Clash 23. And then Dapper Dandy starts asking him about, some other top talents, Father Arturo, Machine, Nick Dane. And then all of a sudden, an alarm is heard. And the aircraft starts doing a nosedive straight towards the ground. So the flight attendants, they fight their way to the cockpit, and they realize the pilot is incapacitated. He had a heart attack or coronary or something, and the co-pilot is just an idiot. He's sitting there, and he's frozen solid. So your everyday hero, he leaps up from his seat. He pushes his way into the cockpit. He jumps on the headset and communicates with the air traffic control tower at JFK, and he lands this 747 flawlessly. And the news crews and the local authorities are swarming him because he really is today your everyday hero. So once again, Dapper Dandy gets the shaft, and Oliver Livingston saves the day.
Very well written, TT. I mean, Dark Danger and Oliver Livingston. Dark Danger kind of advanced his character a little bit, but Oliver Livingston, he lulls you into a false sense of security. He thinks we're gonna get a normal interview, and then it ends up being, another situation where he has to save the day, which I think is just brilliant for the character that he's writing.
I want to say something quick about NWL TT. One of the things I like about the NWL so much right now is there's the variety of characters. I think, it's what I look for in the bureau. I want a variety, not just like 7 shades of the same color. And I know a lot of the times in wrestling, it's like, it's fun to be the bad guy, or it's whatever. But the promos for Livingston writes as the hero, it's like a long joke. I'm waiting for the punchline where he just like snaps and starts like beating, stealing candy from babies, whatever. But I just love the variety. Dark Danger, Father Conrad, Ryota, like all the different characters. Honor Revolt. It's a blast.
Oliver Livingston's TTs remind me of something that would have been on like WWF in 1988. Sandwiched in between the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase kicking people out of the country club and Mr. Perfect, sinking basketballs from the half court line. It's just a kind of a throwback, and I mean, what the hell? I mean, we all grew up in that era, so we all have a heart for that kind of character development.
That's right. And another kind of underrated character in the NWL, he's maybe kind of come and gone at times, is El Jefe Johnny Aztec from the El Templo Tolteca segment. Johnny Aztec, he's been pretty solid. I mean, I really enjoy his TTs when they do come in. He's another character caught up in the whole Death Syndicate saga. He was one of the many attacked by Zanroar last cycle. He's here battling vengeance on Zanroar and Death Syndicate, and he even wants to maybe team up with Lachlan Kincaid, typically one of his arch rivals. He's offering to team up with Lachlan to take on Death Syndicate, and he even introduces a new character, the Eldritch Beast, Dagon. So I believe in Johnny Aztec's stable, he has the Spider Sancho Valdez, himself Johnny Aztec, and now he's got this new character, the Eldritch Beast, Dago. So, I mean, maybe another stable that could be considered as some of the top talent from the NWL when it comes to the IWAR draft later this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been a fan of Johnny Aztec since he came in, so I'm glad to see that we're getting TTs again, and I like that he's introducing a new character. I feel like Johnny Aztec's the kind of like weasel character that needs to have the like the Diesel or the Sid Vicious, the bodyguard with them.
Right.
So I think it's going to add a lot to his character.
Yeah.
We finish up the NWL this cycle with 2 industry TTs. First off, we have Hot Tub Hot Takes with Rod Camino. And Rod Camino is with Riley Reynolds and Waz, and they're sitting in a tub and they're sipping their margaritas. And he's talking up how Riley Reynolds won Soul Survivor, and that she has got a shot against Barry Take-A-Knee Stevens, who he calls Barry Take-A-Pee Stevens, for the IWL World title. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just said low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, absolutely. Since
there's a joke there.
Okay, I got it. Since she moved on to the BWL, they figured that it'd be a good idea for her to get the IWAR Women's title shot, and for Rod to get the IWL title shot. And he says, it looks like Suplex and Rod and Don King are geniuses because they bought the idea. Said, yes, Rod Camino will be facing Barry Shake-A-Tree Stevens for the IWL World title, and Riley Reynolds will be taking on the winner of Veruca Salt and Not Safe for Work Gina Colada for the IWAR Women's World title. And he asks, is anyone else's nipples hard?
Yes.
So, and as we know, at some point in the past 6 months, there was a very loose association created between Whoop Ass Inc. Mick Ferrari stable, and the industry. I guess Veruca Salt is technically a not a full-fledged member of the industry, but like a ancillary member of the industry. So Riley's saying that Gina Colada, if you somehow pull the upset, that Riley Reynolds is going to come after you. And then the industry is talking about how they're going to take all the IWAR titles, the biggest titles. The Decision is going to be making his farewell tour of the NWL. He's going to be heading over to the IWL. And we know that he made last cycle count by taking home pretty much every title. And the Johnny B Cup is ending. Rod picked Punk Rock Mike to win the whole thing. Says that dude is a machine. Second round of the King of the Ring. And finally, Riley Reynolds says, Rod, if you win the tournament, that you'll get a shot at Stevie Vertigo and the IWAR Revolution title. It's interesting. And Rod says that he never got a chance to get back at Vertigo. So he's actually looking forward to the chance that he gets to, get Stevie in a ring and basically kick the shit out of him. He talks about the Decision in the Lethal Lottery have to team with Racer McKay. He doesn't know much about Racer McKay, but he does believe that Dave the Decision and Racer can win the whole thing and get some IWAR tag title shots. And that Dave the Decision, Wazalewski, last cycle took home the quadruple crown, which is a huge accomplishment. And Riley is going to win the BWL League Championship. Riley says. She said that the industry should dominate everywhere because she's going to dominate in her new league. And then we finish up the TT this cycle, with a promo by Dave the Decision Wazalewski. And I will have to paraphrase this because I don't think we can read his promo out loud without keeping it all out. Basically saying that this low rent piece of trash is now your league champ. And half the fans are cheering for him, half the fans are booing him. He's kind of a tweener character. He said, Rod Camino liked to talk about winning the Triple Crown. Well, I did one better. I won the Quadruple Crown. It says that Death Row and Zanroar thought it'd be cute to attack him. So what he's going to do is lay down a challenge. Death Row and Zanroar, this is an open challenge for you three to come out here and fight me 1-on-3. So Death Row and Zanroar stand at the top of the ramp. They don't say anything. They just keep giving looks back and forth. And as they start to sprint to the ring, Dave takes him out. Cell Block Charlie comes in. He gets a kendo stick to the stomach. Zanroar gets a kendo stick to the head. Cell Block Charlie gets behind Dave, starts to pound on his back, and then they all start to gang up on him. And then Rod Camino and Waz come down, and they make the save. And the industry stomps out Death Syndicate. And Dave the Decision wants to know why it took Rod so long to get down to the ring. He expected him to come a lot sooner. But it looks like the industry's climbed every mountain the NWO has to offer. So they're getting ready to head on to greener pastures. And I would like to congratulate the industry because they have been an absolutely dominant stable in the NWL. And as someone that has, been in the NWL basically for the same amount of time, it's been incredible to watch how much success they've been able to have.
Yeah, I think for a while, I kind of viewed Rod Camino versus Mick Ferrari as like one of the highlight feuds of the NWL. And at one point, I thought Mick Ferrari was kind of dominating that feud, but Rod Camino really came on strong. And then you got Dave the Decision chipping in with a couple of league titles along the way. And I think it just speaks to the level of talent that we had with the industry, that Rod Camino is going to jump into the IWL pretty much next cycle or in the next couple of cycles, and he's going to get an IWL world title shot against Barry Takenese Stevens right off the bat. And I think that immediately becomes sort of a highlight main event right off the bat for Rod Camino.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, I think we did a pretty good job of getting through the NWL as quickly as we did. The NWL report is never under 65 pages. All right, and I go through all the reports from all the other feds and all the other leagues, and there's plenty of them that are 6 pages long. So the NWL's kicking ass and taking names.
I dig that.
There we go. There's the vindication I was looking for.
We're waiting for whenever he goes, I do not dig that. Yeah, are we ready for Scott to kick off his verbal response?
I thought he fell asleep.
No, he's right there.
Move your head.
My head?
Right. Yes.
Uh-oh. Are we ready?
No, he's not ready.
Can you hear me at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
We can hear you fine.
Okay, so it's fixed. That's good. It wasn't working before. I could hear like 3 voices at the same time.
Ooh.
So I cut everything off. You guys pretty much said everything I wanted to say before. No one lets me on here at the beginning of the time, Alex. So
I sent the link.
Alex
not
is a
to me.
dick. He's a dick.
Alex is a dick. No, he's all right. I mean, any of those guys in NWL? NWL? No. Yeah. Any of those guys? Do they have a strategy I could use for next month?
I would take the one from Father Conrad right now.
That's what I was thinking. Like, hey.
So listen, see, if you give me a good strategy, see, meow.
Scott, do you
can have
have a new headset? Because you sound wonderful this week.
Yes, I do. Well,
Oh.
no, I haven't used it before.
Oh.
I was really a cool guy, and when did I get it? Did I just send it to you, Matt?
What's that?
AIDS?
The headset. The headset and the microphone.
I think so. Yeah, this
Anyway.
thing here.
I had bought some, and yes, it's the same company I'm using,
Sounds great.
and it works great. Well, I thought it was going to anyway. I don't know what I mean, I can say a lot, but I just know whatever I say is just going to come back to me as I'm just stupid because I'm Matt's friend. And that,
Yes.
Well, I think we're all in the same boat, aren't we? We're stupid because we're Matt's friend.
well, except for Mark.
I'll add one thing, though. I didn't mention this. One of the things that was said, and I think we talked about this when we Skyped last week, was there was a threat of like, whoa, the entire virus stable is going to use the exact same strat. See how you like that? And
Yeah.
I was like,
I was like,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah, and in
Yeah.
fact, give it to me too.
yeah, I'll run it.
Well-
Yeah.
The whole getting coupled. He hates me because I like Matt. Screw you. I don't need any of that.
That's fair.
I've liked my friend for much longer than this whole IWA crap. So, and I do mean crap. I get more. I could care less what Mark says about me. I don't sit in my apartment going, "Oh my God, he's not my buddy." I've never talked to him. I've never said a word. He should have said something to me and let me talk about it, because I appreciate Tommy Zulu and there's a couple of other guys. Blood? Was it Robbie?
Yeah, Robbie Blood.
Robbie Blood. I appreciate those guys. I mean, they didn't have to stick up for me. Because I don't care what Mark says. It's not. I don't play this game because, I don't sit here and go, oh my God. And to make everything clear, yes, I asked for a little help. And it's not the first time I've done it. And the last time is because Zulu was right. I had issues with COVID, and I talked about. In fact, if he even really cared, he would have known that I was sick, and I just didn't want to lose my win-loss record. I wanted to keep it going for a little while. If anybody's noticed, I haven't really done anything about any beside the strats. I haven't done any TTs. I've been getting myself back into shape just
you were the
I could enjoy
backstabber
it.
thing.
The what?
You were the backstabber, weren't you?
Oh yes, I was the backstabber. Yes. Why has everybody been the backstabber? If they haven't, they should all give it a shot. No, but like you said,
But I don't think you need any kind of justification for anything.
well, no, I don't. I didn't think so either. But I especially him. But the guys, I appreciate the guy. Like I said, I appreciate them for even. He's not cheating. No, I don't care. I don't care if you think I'm cheating. I mean, I'm playing my game, and nobody bothered me until Douche said something. So I mean, if he would, like I said, if he'd have just asked, we might have been able to have a civil conversation. Now I don't care what he thinks. And if he's on here, which I'm sure he is, or he's got somebody in here going to let him know everything we said. As he says, he doesn't listen.
I would put money we're going to hear from them in the next ASL or whatever.
I think they'll hear. They'll hear from, or we'll hear from them in the next 2 hours, maybe. I mean, that's because he's egged on, especially by you. And
well,
now me, who, like, I don't know why it was such a big deal when I read it the first time. Old Scott from the 90s would have probably been pissed off, and just like Silverberg and another.
Oh God,
let's not even talk about him. But then I would have cared. I would have been like, "Oh, don't you even talk to me." In fact, Mark, unless you want to talk to me civil, don't put my name in your mouth. So, but anything else? I mean, I'm playing my game. It's not like anybody else's. Well, it might be if you're asking for strats. But it just gets to me that anybody even cares now after so many flutters and all that bullcrap, because all I want to do is just have fun, and I love writing, and I hate that COVID has just left me tired every single day and night. I mean, I blame it on them. You want to blame it on me? Go ahead and blame it on me.
It was Scott's fault.
Okay. Yeah. But it's only because I care about Matt that I asked for his strategy. And if anybody else wants to give me one, go ahead, because I don't care. And if you care about it, you're wasting too much time. Nobody even talked about me until they noticed that the strategy was the same. I didn't even ask for a winning strategy. I wanted some. It could have been something mediocre.
It usually would be.
No, this time it was a winner.
Rocking that mean 492 average.
And you know what? That might be the last big title that I held. And once again, I don't care. I'd like to hold the world tag again. That'd be great. But none of this is in. My 16-year-old son is what I care about the most. IWA could end tomorrow. Sorry, Johnny, Kim. I don't care. I would be like, oh, well, at least I had a good time, and I would be gone. So, if Mark thinks that what he thinks is the go-to, then he needs to rethink his whole decisions too, because I don't care. In fact, if Mark needs a new name for me, I don't care works. So.
I will say, you heard it here first, fans, on the IWAR Network's #1 rated Tubecast. Yeah, so there it is. Well, like I said, I only hope if I do share more strategies than anybody, I hope that they both win.
Here's your
Uh,
deal
I
next cycle.
appreciate-
You should
I
share
appreciate
9
it.
strategies. Do them all. Fucking do them all. Post them all. Post all the strategies.
I could.
I'm thinking about asking for a strategy next time. I could use a little boost.
Hey, if I knew that me sending a strategy, because you know what's funny is it was the A strat, it was the Atari strat, so it was A. You know, and if we win again, even better.
Exactly.
You only really
I'll-
need to
I'll-
worry if Brad Norman starts giving away strats. Then you have a real fucking problem.
You know,
Then you have a real problem.
oh my God, Brad Norman and Mike Cook give me strategies, and you know, like I got a strategy from Randall. Like, oh, okay.
Then,
Riley gave you a strategy? What are you, an idiot?
I'll take the one from Brad Norman.
I know. Brad
Definitely.
can sell him. Brad be like, yo, man, what you say? I'll give you like
what if
$5.
there's a scenario where like 11 people won the world title?
I'm surprised that hasn't happened, honestly. You know, with the guys that like really do like, you know, there are some guys that run like the same kind of drop, but it's hard. I mean, it's a hard thing to do in the game just to get a 501.
Yeah.
I know for some of you guys it's not.
Yeah, 501. You gotta win your league title, and then you gotta go from there.
Yeah.
Darren
So-
says if you win again, I don't win the world tag. I am going to riot.
I used to be really good at the tag. I've lost that edge. I've like lost my grip on that. So
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Thanks.
Oh,
Yeah,
well.
last time you did well. I think it was Bad Company that won the world tag title.
Yep. Yeah. Oh well.
So anybody that wants to give me a good strat for next month, go ahead.
Me too.
We are.
And next month.
I mean, I
You're
guess the
also-
best strat we could possibly get would be Johnny B's strat, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Hey Johnny, can I have your strat?
Not only are we the most
And I
number one
want it
rated
for the
show-
next 6 months.
We're the number one rated show. We're also the most ethical show.
We're big in Southeast Asia, by the way.
I dig that.
So, Matt, you want to start with the BWL?
All right.
Did you read it?
Well, this. I'm not,
Yes.
I got notes. I have my note prep here. I'll just a little behind the scenes here. I was prepping for tonight, and I was like did the BRL trash talk, and the note on my email said BRL and BWL promo are trash talk review, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to review that. So whoops. So this is a little brief, but another cycle of good action in the BWL. I do want to welcome all of our new members, ranging from Vicky Venom, Addison Killswitch, the Mangler Marjorie Brocious, and Big Money Bonnie Banks. We have a new member called Black Widow in the Black Widow League. So there you go. So that's that one.
They said the name of the movie in the movie.
Yes, and then I'm gonna say this wrong. Kaija Kaisen. Chaosin? Chaosin. All right.
Whatever
anyways.
it is, it sounds racist.
Do you know what that said in Japan? Oops. So promo-wise, a lot going on. As mentioned earlier, an NWL promo involving Rod Camino and Riley Reynolds. They went to Suplex and Dick Jackson and Johnny B and were like, "Hey, here's what we have in mind," and Don King. And the idea was to have, Riley Reynolds turn her Soul Survivor win into a IWAR Women's World Title shot. So the only thing that changed is Suplex decided that it wasn't fair to both the champion and challenger to throw them into a three-person match out of the blue. This isn't WWE after all. And instead, she will get a future shot, so she gets to pick when she wants to have that happen. Thanks, Jeff. So here's the review of the BWL Trash Talk. And we start with Gina Colada, who's continuing her transformation. She's going from the white trash kind of booze bag, boozy floozy, to a focus brawler. And then she won Queen of the Ring. And just kind of behind the scenes, story arc wise, I did not have her winning Queen of the Ring. She kept winning by the skin of her teeth. I think she was like a tiebreaker all the last 3 rounds. So, anyways, she won Queen of the Ring. So the whole thing is now she's going through a process of being given new gear, ring attire, new theme. So she's kind of going through a change there. But she's still part of the Willowick Combat Club. So the question is, who else will be in the Willowick Combat Club? That'll be revealed soon. And side note, she lost her title shot against Veruca. So Veruca Salt is still the champion. Zucchero Zebop was a guest for Oprah Freewin. And I'm gonna actually jump down
What is a Zuckaroo Zebop?
What is
Darren?
Darren, yes. So what we do is Mike Cook, the other commissioner of the league, he has a questionnaire, and your wrestler earns certain money depending on what questions they answer. So for example, last time Gina Colada got $65,000. This time Zuckaroo Zebop I think got $60,000. But question 1 was, what are you hoping to achieve in the Black Widow League? I'm going to win when the smoke finally clears. The end of my career, I want to be remembered as the best beatable champion of all time. How long do you plan to be in the BWL? As long as it takes for me to have, I got nowhere else to go or need to be. I'm here for the long haul. Having a past many wrestlers in the BWL, who do you consider your biggest threat? It's the ring officials. They always give me a loss. So if you could align with anyone in the BWL, who would it be? I just got a promo asking the beautiful Beulah Booger to join me so we can destroy the rest of the girls in the back. Her beauty, my brains, it could be deadly. So I like that. And then final question, our women's division is now a focal point due to the BWL. Compared to the men's championship, do you consider the BWL is greater than, equal to, or less than the BRL, IWL, NWL? And as a bonus, I believe in my heart the BWL is going to be the toughest league in the IWAR. No, wait, the IWA. BWL is going to be the toughest league in wrestling very soon. Now to get my merch table and buy some Zucchero Zebop merch. So again, that's the character's called Peggy Banks, and we have a bank of $5.1 million. So, there's $60,000 earned for the interview. So if you get asked to do the interview, I believe it's a random drawing, and the idea is that everyone in the league will get a chance to do this over time, so it'll be fair. So next up, I'm going to quick review of the Perfect 10 tournament. So the way this works up is a standard tournament bracket. Wrestlers are paired up 1-on-1, and then each win is not created equally. So the idea is that you need to win by getting 10 or more. So if you beat your opponent by 10 points in one cycle, you're on to the next round. But if you don't, it takes a while. So until you get those 10 points, you don't move on. So it's just it's a great way to kind of have like some rivalries, see some scoring. We'll have the brackets in the next issue of the BWL. Now getting to promos, I'm going to kind of give a quick little review. So we start off with Aria Gunpowder, and she's cutting a very babyface promo, talking about being the first Luchadora champion, looking to make her name. Great character, great good guy. I want to see more of the movie career Aria Gunpowder. I love that aspect in the NWL. Betty Red comes in, and Betty Red is a former IWAR world champion, and she wants a chance to be in a triple threat match. She wants to be the one to challenge Veruca Salt, and she apparently claims to not be responsible for dumping 5 gallons of pig slop on Veruca. But, she's trying to get on her nerves and get herself a title shot. So Betty Red is currently the global champion and will be challenged next by Shiloh Wallace. That's in the works. I think the first pay-per-view is going to be called Where the Boys Aren't. Thanks to Scott for that one. So we'll work on that. I need to get a header from Jeff on that one. Big Money Bonnie Banks has come over from the IWL. She's aggressively going to take charge, has unsettled business with Riley Reynolds and Aria Gunpowder. Aria and Bonnie had a feud all the way back to NWL, so they got a lot to go through. The Huntress is from the Upside Down and looking to deal with Zoe Pescadora. I'm going to say it wrong. Pescadoro? Anyways, I butchered that one like Alex. But is she going to be an ally or rival? That's kind of in the works. Now, I mentioned before Black Widow arrived in the Black Widow League, and she's going after Betty Then You, who was our first champion, and attacked her with a chair after the Battle Royal. I think, because it was kind of unclear if it was her attacking or who attacked Betty Then You. I assume it was just kind of an overflow. Penny Punk calls out Roxy, Riot, Riley Reynolds, and Gina Colada, looking to expose Gina for what she's been doing. Will Gina answer her challenge? Tune in. Addison Killswitch arrives, not so politely introduces herself, calls out Meat Train for, quote, fake-ass push-up bra. Serious heat involving braziers. Tiamat shows up at the Beaver County gas station, scaring the bejesus out of an old man at a gas station because she's looking to find Rain Grady in the Grady Ranch.
Damn.
So this leads to a No Country for Old Men coin flip situation, scaring the poor old guy to call it with her full-figured fury, the Queen of Chaos. So Tiamat's on the hunt, trying to find Rain Grady. Zuckaroo offers to help Beulah Booger win the championship, offers to help others with Space Truckers poster in the background, which I really enjoyed. Shiloh Wallace says she's addicted to the knife, and it says, how will she change the BWL? But I want to know what Shiloh Wallace is going to do when she eventually gets a hold of Betty Red. Next up, we have Rachel Van Dorn, who put some social media posts. Is she trying to be a champion or an social media influencer? We got to find out. She's making her name for herself. Riley Reynolds delivers to offer to suplex the title shot. We talked about that. Callie Kimura mentioned, one of the things that stood out in Callie Kimura's promo was about her connection or in something in common with Rain Grady. So they're going to kind of become an alliance. It'll be interesting. Beulah Booger cuts another hard-to-read promo. But she's hungry for gold, too. So I like the suey at the end. Meat Train is building her persona up, a badass. Looks like she's got some beefs already in the league, so we'll see how that works out. And then Rain Grady cuts a nice big promo, solid character work. Let me pull this up here. Rain Grady is the half-sister of Rhett and Ro Grady. Let me pull this up here. And she's a very vivid, colorful promo here, talking about kind of the background of the character, where she comes from. Her debut, I always say if you have a chance, this is page 46 of the current bulletin, 45, 46, and beyond. And, Larry, the One-Eyed Bull Mastiff, Aunt Betsy, and Captain Crunch. So there's a lot to cover here, but I really think it's going to be a fun addition to the league. And I really look forward to seeing how this next round goes because we grew by a few members. I do want to announce that one of the members of the league had to take a break from IWA, so the Mangler Marjorie Brocious will be back at some point, but she'll be inactive for a few months. So if you're looking over, who to challenge or write promos about, you can skip that one. But I do have a challenge for the league, and here's my idea. Since I know the Mangler Marjorie Brocious is taking a leave from the league for a bit, I will offer a $10,000 bonus to whoever writes the most creative promo to write her off TV. So if it's Sneak Attack, it's a promo, whatever you think would be fun and a fun read. So you can do a promo to show us how the Mangler Marjorie Brocious ends up being missing time in the league. That'll be the challenge for everybody to take on. So that's the BWL, Alex.
Yeah, sure is. I dig that. Who's in the chat right now? Anyone good looking?
Who, what now?
I was asking who was in the chat right now. I was asking if there's anyone good looking.
I like Darren's beard. I mean, that's kind of good looking.
That's fair.
Maybe not the kind of good looking.
Does he use all types of all natural oils, essential oils on his beard?
I feel like he must.
Perhaps
he's Canadian. He uses maple syrup.
Perhaps a nice beard balm of some sort. This episode of Tubecast has been sponsored by Beard Balm.
I think we've got Kevin in the chat as well. I saw him commenting earlier. Lord Hyena as well. So, and we're hovering between 11 and 12 viewers. I'm sure 6 of them are Ukrainian bots, but they deserve love too.
That's right.
All right. I guess we do the IWL next, I guess.
Yeah.
Next up, Independent Wrestling League number 157.
You have 10 minutes.
10 minutes. I guess we start off with this the cover of the Ring Wrestling magazine, which has Rod Camino and a poster of Wrestle Riot. I thought that was a nice touch there. Wrestle Riot is coming up shortly, so be on the lookout for that. If you have matches, please let me know what they are. I want to do one of those retro style event posters that I'd like to do at some point. If I get enough matches in time, I can probably actually pull that off. We start off with Revolution Extremes TT, which I will not go over. Just read it because it's awesome.
It is.
We have Ali Atari here. No one cares what he's saying. Who's Ali Atari feuding with, by the way? Is it Bill Bonecutter? Flashy Jack Ferdinand, Sabretooth?
He's kind of talking about the Johnny B Cup, which is in the finals, so he's kind of...
Is he?
He is now, yeah.
Doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, so... Second time there, but hopefully the first time winning it. Cross fingers. If I can get somebody to give me a good strategy.
Oh, yeah. Next up is U.S. Mail. I guess this is it with him and Brogan, right? That's a wrap. He's moving on from the Bulkster.
Yeah. Well, Bulkster didn't really respond at all, and then kind of dropped off. And
he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. He died from skin poisoning from too much suntan lotion.
I will say this: if he wants to come back with a Fury, that's great. I'll play off of it, but I just, I don't know what it is with U.S. Mail, but for whatever reason, his character just kind of like the American Patriot Chameleon. They just kill off other people, like just vanish. Happened NWL, like all of his foes. Remember, like the guy was, just one after the other was fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, he had a rough go.
Dan the Beast Sovereign, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, what happened to him? He probably died too.
Dan the Beast Sovereign?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I wrote a fantastic promo where behind the scenes, he was friends with Dan Severn in real life and talked about that. So I had a thing where U.S. Mail attacked his number one fan in the NWL at an airport and beat him up and told him to call Dan, Beast Severn. I was like, you better show up. I'm going to break your friend's arm. And then he hurt him, whatever. And he got mad about that and quit the game. It's like, I made a promo for you, dude. It's very frustrating when that happens.
I've met Dan Severn. He is the widest back you've ever seen in your life. He has to have his chest has to be 60. 62.
He needs 3 bottles of suntan lotion to cover his back.
It's huge. Motherfucker's ginormous.
You're talking about his back, right?
Yes. That's correct.
Yeah. So.
Next up, we have IWL World Heavyweight Champion Barry Take A. Stevens. As you guys heard earlier, that he will now be facing Rod Camino at the main event of Wrestle Riot. So be on the lookout for that. I wonder what kind of shenanigans and tomfoolery will lead up to this match. And
it's brutal.
I can only imagine. Stops. Who are they going? They're going after the Regulators still?
What's that? The Regulators? Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They're angry.
About what? Being looking?
Yep.
Fair. Next up, we have Ulysses Deadeye. Looks like he's going to be involved in a 3-way feud with Ricky Spanish and Atticus Black. So be on the lookout for that. Again, a great TT here, great promo. Nice picture too, so I really appreciate that. Looking good so far. Again, I have 3-way feuds are interesting. They're not necessarily done all that much in the IWA. So this is something that me personally, as the manager of Ricky Spanish, would be really interested in doing because it's something that doesn't necessarily gets done at all. So I think that's pretty cool. I think TT is fantastic. Keep up the good work. Next up, we have the Shotgun Kid. Well, not the Shotgun Kid. It's Damian Killswitch talking about the Shotgun Kid. My mistake. Where's Luke when you need him, though? Where is Luke? Is he listening at least?
Where's Luke? He's in Ukraine right now, I think.
Is he again?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I was just about to say the Ukraine, too.
Unbelievable.
He's out there looking for Bob to get back at him for making Neo Dragon Asian.
So we have Damien Kielsmith, who is targeting the Shotgun Kid. So that's pretty dope. We have Atticus Black again, another fantastic TV TT talking about Lucy's Deadeye and Ricky Espanol, which I'm offended by the way. So again, I think it's gonna be really cool moving forward. So I'm really excited about that. We have Junik Mateo. Thank you for the punctuation on that, so I don't mess that up. Again, he's talking about Atticus Black here. He doesn't like Canadians. Doesn't like Tubecast, from what I understand as well. So that's cool. So.
Nice.
Hunter Callahan, he's going after Racer McKay, which he calls him Racer McNips. So,
Nips.
which is hilarious insult, which I appreciate. Oh boy. Who's next? Where am I? Lost my spot. So who's this guy with the list here? Does anyone know? Who's the list? This guy has the avatar with Chris Jericho and the Killers. Killers talking about we'll maybe head back to the Iron Fed, stop wasting time, let you head back in the game, or get the F out of my league. It's not your league, it's my league. So let's be clear on that.
He's got a nice graphic, but
He does. I need a name though. That's what we need a name on this one. So don't let fucking Luke see this, because he'll fucking flip out again. So guys, when you have TT, make sure you have your name somewhere in there. It'd be helpful. Especially if you're a newer wrestler, perhaps. That would be extremely helpful.
Now it's loud.
Goddamn Stevie Vertigo. That's all I gotta say about that. He's harassing poor O.J. Simpson. This man cannot get a break. He's at a sport collectible show, and he's getting sexually harassed by Stevie Vertigo. So I don't appreciate that. And OJ is going to have his revenge.
And
Well, what if OJ's backstabbed the backstabber?
That could be.
backstabs or like backstabs?
Well, either way, they'd be good. Studs and Duds Sportsbook. Who messaged me? What's going on? Yeah, when you guys message me, you guys can hear it on the Tubecast. What was it? Oh, you guys are ridiculous.
That's all right. They know we messaged you behind the scenes to talk trash about Alex.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. So what's Steve Vertigo's plan here? He's going after OJ. It's not Luther already beat him in every match they ever had. You know what's the point?
Well, at the moment, Stevie, unbeknownst to him, when he cut this promo, he's going to be embroiled in a best of 7 series,
Which he's already lost.
Well, it's a best of 7, so he's lost one.
Yeah.
But potentially, I mean, he's not like the New York Rangers, where he's gonna like go home with his tail between his legs after one loss. He's got at least 4 more chances to beat Luther.
It's already over. I don't know what I'm talking about.
But basically, he's invited O.J. Simpson to this sports memorabilia convention, and he's talking O.J. into coming with him to Kings Park, New York, so that he could talk to Luther. And he figures that if he has O.J. Simpson, who is easily won over, by the way. I mean, I don't know what Luther is paying O.J., but Stevie offers him at least 6 figures to come with him to Kings Park. And they're going to go on a road trip. They're going to see the American countryside. They're going to see, you know, what America's all about. Because Stevie's Canadian, even though he now resides in Reno, Nevada, which I don't know if America even considers that, you know, part of America at the moment. But he wants OJ to show him the countryside, and they're going to drive together to Kings Park, New York, to talk to Luther Alexander.
That's fair. That's fair. They're going to stop by such historical monuments as the Hoover Dam, the world's longest ball of string, perhaps. You know, so there's a lot of places around there. So it's going to be fun. As long as Stevie doesn't roll with any white women, he should be okay.
Order was fresh.
Senor Lucha, he has a is that tequila of some sort?
Right.
Senor Lucha.
Si, Senor Tequila, 100% pure agave beverage. El delicioso sabor del Senor Lucha, which is the amazing taste of Senor Lucha.
That's one way to put it.
That's fair. He definitely just peed in the bottle. So, I'll tell you guys. We got Rick Chambers. He's looking for revenge on Ali Atari. So, you guys going to have another match at Wrestle Riot? Is this going to be a Viagra on the pole match? What are you guys going to do?
I don't know. I don't.
Well, it's not like Ali Atari is doing anything anyway.
Right.
He's
kind of in a status right now. I actually, his promo coming up is a little bit different. I'm kind of trying a different aspect.
Okay.
So we'll see how it works.
You going to change your font?
Yeah. I'm going to use the Tiamat Fox.
The Tiamat font?
The Neo Dragon font.
Oh, he's going to be so mad when he hears
this. The eraser is asking for a strat on a pole match. You know I'm going to milk this shit, don't you?
Yes, I know.
Is it just going to be?
I know it's going to be
everything is now. I want a strap. So
that's going to be your new gimmick.
I would like to thank Daniel for the yummy pizza. So.
Oh, that's fair.
I do want to talk. I want to mention one thing about U.S. Mail's promo. I wanted to cover because it's a big new storyline.
No one cares.
Well, this pertains to the women in the league. U.S. Mail has hired litigation as his lawyer. He is suing Rosanna and X3M. Rosanna, X3M, Don King, and the IWL to have his losses to them overturned. He's suing for compensation because he was sexually assaulted during the match because she tried to arouse him by grabbing his junk. And you'll see more in the promo, but it's going to get even worse this coming up. So,
if he really wanted to win, he would have hired Clarence Cochran.
He's dead.
He's alive.
He's dead. I put 2 bullets in him.
No, that's Clarence Thomas. That's dead.
I thought Ted the Bear was dead.
No, there's a Ted the Wrestling Bear Jr. now.
All right, nice.
El Hijo de Ted the Wrestling Bear.
Also fathered by the Teamster.
He's got his furry snout.
Yeah, so that was one of my ideas I was going to have if I lost to the Neo Dragon and I had to leave, and Luther had to leave the IWL, is I was going to bring back Ted the Wrestling Bear as an actual wrestler, and it would have been awesome. I still might do it. We have a TT here from... what was that?
I said I used to take on Terry the Hairy Fairy.
Oh.
In the Snake Pit League.
Terry the Hairy Fairy.
Greatest name ever.
Snake Pit League?
Yeah.
Oh, I want... You know what I want? Johnny B. I want a list of defunct leagues. Like all of them.
Oh.
All of them.
List.
I could probably grab you some of those.
No. Give me... I want the official IWA list.
Okay.
With the official
there
seal
Johnny
of
B,
approval.
with the gauntlet thrown down. Johnny
with the stamp on it. That says JB.
We want three signatures. Johnny B, Kim, and
Johnny A.
Well, before Kim was what, Laura Love or Laura Lee? Actually, that's a good question for Johnny. Who was before Kim? Who were the people before? There was someone like Laura Lee or Laura Love or something like that.
I feel like he answered that question.
I just can't remember right now. I'm sure he can
get
say
mad
that.
at me again for you not answering questions.
Well, that's okay. That's why we put you in front of him.
I know.
Yep. Alex is the body shield.
Wow.
Oh, Johnny B. Am I wrong? Did I cheat? I want full vindication.
You want an official ruling?
Yeah. If I cheated, I'll be like, okay, I cheated.
All right, next up we have the IWL Unified Tag Team Champions, the Demolition Crew. Now they have their matchup with the a Wrecking Ball SWAT team at the next pay-per-view, but there's a caveat there. The Wrecking Ball SWAT team hasn't TT'd in quite a while. So, you know what happens when you don't TT the appropriate amount, which is, what was the rule on that? It was like once every 3 cycles, I believe was the official rule.
Yeah, at least make the effort. Come on, man. We get it. People get busy, but
so it's once every 3 cycles that you have to TT. If you do not, and you have a title match like this, the match will take place, and you will just get beat. So just keep that in mind. So you may want to TT sooner rather than later. They're also talking about Rosanna. They haven't forgotten about her and her shenanigans. She smells like celery, guys. So just keep that in mind. I don't know what that means.
Where's Dixon Ticonderoga?
Where is Dixon?
I have no clue. That's why I asked you. Matt, you do know?
I think he's unavailable. He's been busy.
He's sitting right next to fucking Alexander J. Styles. That's for sure.
Yeah.
At this point, he's on the bench. Bless his heart. He'll come back from that injury and be bigger and better than ever. So
I'm sure he's planning on it.
yeah, which is gonna be dope. Next up, we have Big Bad Bob Harris. I don't know who he's talking about. He's with Misty Hyatt, which is nice. Thank you for using the tools I provided. That's pretty good. He's basically just doing a generic, I'm going to beat everyone up, and he has a wife named Samantha. So there you go. Yeah, talk bad about people. Like the Eraser.
And get a header, damn it.
Or Big Ben Jr. We have Queen Angela, who is this month's pinup in the Ring magazine. So,
is she ever?
Yeah, she is.
Wow.
How old was Deborah, like in her prime? Because as like a 16-year-old kid, I thought she was 40.
She had to be at least like 73.
Right? Like she had this MILF look about her forever.
She was kind of part of Stone Cold's downfall to a certain extent, wasn't she? Because I thought that maybe in the second or third match of the Stone Cold versus The Rock trilogy, there was some sort of squabble that Vince wanted The Rock to come out with Deborah,
right?
But he refused, and then they kind of just wrote that off as something that wasn't actually going to happen in the WrestleMania main event.
She's 62 years old, by the way.
All right, now.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lean 62.
Yeah. So she had to be what in her? What 95 was when she started?
That's 30 years ago, so she's in her 30s.
How old is Steve Austin then? If she's 65.
Look it up.
57. So she is older than him by 5 years. So that's interesting. So she was older when she started, for sure. But she definitely had a MILF look about her, like since day one. She did. Up next, World Offensive History. So I'm glad they're back with their TT. So welcome back, gentlemen. Hope you're ready for some big stuff. So I got some big plans for you if you keep on TTing. X3M, no one cares. No, X3M is the.
I thought it was extreme.
Is it? I forget. People get mad at me. I like to call it X3M's a cool name though. She is the current and defending
Yep.
Champion. Yeah. It's late, guys. Like, come on. Let's be a break. She is the current and defending Pan Am champion, by the way. Which we don't have a challenger yet, guys. By the way, I want to resolve that next cycle. I'll get her a challenger coming up shortly. So keep that in mind. Up next, no, just kidding. We have second gen. Second gen is, I believe, currently in the 4-pack challenge. So good luck with that, gentlemen. Free Quebec, but no one cares about them. Darren Slayer. That's good. You think they're going to go first in the draft? You think?
I think who?
Free Quebec. You think they're going to go first in the draft?
I think they went first in last draft. So I mean, I think they have a permanent spot as
The number 1 pick.
Yeah, first overall for life is the contract they signed when they approached Don King with their last draft. So they're just automatically first overall for the rest of eternity.
That's fair. We have the regulators, the new look regulators, by the way, for those of you who haven't noticed. Again, they're currently feuding with the Von Stops yet again. I feel like this feud is going to go on forever. Hope one of them dies. We have Death Leprechaun, which is Thad Gaiman, Gene the Machine Conrad, and Doug Double Best Brocky. Those are going after the IWAR 6-man championship, so that's pretty dope. Most importantly, we have the Sheepdog, Rogue Grady, now in the IWL. I know Jeff has already left the show, but Jeff, I need a picture so I can put it on the cover because he's going to be the cover boy of the next Ring magazine. Who's going to feud with? Well, fuck, I don't believe in spoilers as a general rule in life, right?
That's right.
I think you can just use Queen Angela again.
The reason why I put all these scantily clad women in these in my report is due to the fact that we have so many IWA players in prison currently, and I like to do my part.
You're doing good work.
Doing good work. The God's work, I think. We have the Chameleon here with Chameleon Corner. Oh, man. I feel like the Chameleon is back. He's back. He's asking if Haruki Fuji and Mr. Fuji, Harry Fujiwara, are related. So that's nice. We have the American Patriot and the Christian Warrior talking about gun collection and second gen. So that's cool. We have the Graces. They're calling out the Von Snaps, but they are the Von Snaps are currently ducking the Graces at the moment.
They wait.
We have Neo Dragon talking about Luther and potentially their match at the next pay-per-view, which Luther will win, by the way. So we have the decision, Dave Vasilewski, right? Vasilewski is how you say it? Yeah.
Vasilewski, you got it right. Good job.
Yeah, there you go. On his way to the IWL. The whole industry, I believe, is coming. All right, we don't get Waz, right? Did we get Waz?
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah,
We got the whole thing.
Yeah, he's kind of the unheralded member, but he's going to be a force to reckon with in the IWL as well.
I like this. The industry coming true. Hide your women and your titles. The first time I read it, I thought it said titties, but it didn't.
That makes sense.
I think this moving forward. I think the industry is going to take Revolution Extreme's spot as the top dogs in the IWL. For sure, I think it's coming. With the California gun slinger who claims that they're staying low, but they're not staying quiet. So, looking for someone to feud with. Racer McKay, the egomaniac. Again, Racer McNips. He's in trouble. He's got Hot Tub Hot Takes, which I believe is it the same one from?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Oh, we recovered that already. Yeah, Lone Star Redneck. He's mentioning Joe Boring, the Chameleon, Atari Barry Stevens, Johnny Vegas, Luther, Bill Brogan, U.S. Mail, California Gunslinger, Alexander Styles, and Johnny WrestleFast. But yeah, I think again, I think it's gonna be a big deal moving forward, for sure. And then we have TT that have nothing to do with the IWL at the bottom. So that's the IWL in a nutshell, guys. Keep on doing your good work with your TT, and hopefully Luke will do a better job of recapping your TT than I will next cycle. So next up, PRL.
Oh boy. Well,
You have 5 minutes.
Matt's busy doing a crossword puzzle.
I can probably make that happen. So, all right. So BRL. This is issue 585. Wow. All right. Mountain Dew is done. All right. So here's I've got my BRL recap page here. So we're in the cycle right now where I'm writing up the results from the Magic Bash pay-per-view, which would be in this coming cycle's results. And we're going to use that to launch into Autumn Anarchy's arc. So a couple of times during this promo, or during this stuff, I'll talk about the results. So we lead off with Jax McAllister, who's getting increasingly more unhinged. Now, last time he attacked the Hawaiian Heartthrobs family during a ceremony honoring their tribute contributions to pro wrestling. And he chokeslammed the grandfather off the balcony and through the pig roast on the floor below. So he talks to Dapper Dan D, who's trying to get a word from him, and he's flipping out, and Punk Rocker Mike's kind of telling me, you better come back later because we're trying to convince him to go back to his old ways of being a hooligan, and instead he's just like going berserk and he's destroying the clubhouse.
He's going mad.
He's going mad. Mad Jax, yeah. In related news, having seen enough of Jack's behavior, Adam Cash pleads with Servant Hill Savages to deal with a rogue member because they're supposed to be a bunch of good guys, and they've got a member who's just going berserk, and they're not doing anything to stop him. Monster Truck Tanaka, riding a wave of confidence, says to Big Guns Greg Ganar, no, you are not in charge of pain and destruction. He is. Tanaka also won the BRL Championship, so his first ever league title. That's from NWL days to CWL days. Congrats, Monster Truck Tanaka. A winner is me. The Von Schnaps, who are doing tag team only, you might notice their promo looks weird. It's because I put in the bullet points, and then just in the mayhem of getting the cycle done, I forgot to actually flesh out the bullet points. So let there be a lesson, everybody out there. If you're going to do your promo, make sure you do it right. A side note, quick little trash talk tip or hint. I create a file called Promo Ideas, and I keep sending it to myself and editing it and like sending it to myself. And I have like probably 30 promo ideas for Barry Stevens, well, 10 for U.S. Mail, a couple for the Von Schnapps. But it's a way to like kind of keep things fresh. And oftentimes, like you think of an idea for like that'd be a fun promo, like Barry Stevens at a dog park. The hell would he be doing there? I don't know. But he's gonna punch somebody. So it's a fun way to like save some good ideas and like take your character in new directions. I always loved the promo where Monster Truck Tanaka challenged Outlaw John. My God, I forget his name now. I'm tired. But he challenged to a Trader Joe's death match, and they had a Trader Joe's death match. And that's because the guy who ran Outlaw John, forgetting his name now, I'm tired, he worked at Trader Joe's too. So it was a fun little thing. Next up, we have LePage Turner's promo, which, did anyone notice? I sent the same one in because I was crunched for time. But nothing's changed his character at that point. It's changed now, but you'll see the results and what's happening at the Magic Batch write-up. Greg Garner talks about his busy cycle, the best of the best, the Global Series, his old beef with Pain and Destruction taking on the Von Schnapps, or as he calls them, the Von Stupids, from the CWL days. And he hopes that Johnny Carnage beats the hell out of Tanaka. He's sick of Tanaka. Next up, Seth Adams Lee, getting more attention lately. But what's really on his mind is breaking the tie with Quick Kill Incorporated, Psycho Bolt, and Skullfire. His guys, the Excellence Academy, have tied twice in a row with these guys. He wants to kind of get that out of the way. He wants Commissioner Jackson to settle this feud and break the tie ASAP. And the fun surprise, I was going to throw that match in as a quick, like, kind of a WWE move. I know, it's sorry about that, guys, but I was like going to be like, oh, you guys wrestled to a, whatever, DQ brawl. You want a tag match, and just like use as tag scores. So, spoiler alert, or non-spoiler for in Alex's case, Curriculum Incorporated destroyed Seth Adams, Lee, and Wisp score-wise. Just at like, it was like a 5-14 or something like that to like 508, like just crushed them. Next up, we had a promo from the NWL's Blind Fury, who announces he's coming to the BRL since his pal Lone Star Redneck went to the IWL, and he gets in a brawl with El Jefe and gets suspended by Commissioners Jackson and Johnny B. So more to come from that, I'm sure. Flashy Jack and Mike Cook were eating dinner when Double R Rob Ratliff takes both plates and dumps them on Mike's head, and Mike goes to go after Double R Rob Ratliff when Jack picks up R's guitar and breaks it over Cook's head. So, side note, Flashy Jack was not happy with him, so he's got Double R Rob Ratliff to kind of like be his side guy right now. The Fox brothers have been in a rut, and they're considering retirement, but Silver Fox says, hey, let's play out the year. A little challenge to the league. The Silver brothers have been calling for competition, asking for a feud for quite some time. And I always say to myself, well, I'm going to see who steps up to the plate. No one's done it yet, so who is it going to be? Next up, we have... they end up in a massive food fight, which is always fun. Breaking tables, getting visited by the cops. So will this be a big year for them? And another tag team I like is called T4H, Thugs for Hire. Rodney Diarmond and Brom O'Baron. And they want to know, hey, we'll do any job. No job's too reprehensible. We'll do it all. So I have an idea for that. The Royal Family of Doom Sabretooth, the former IWAR World Champion who ended Joe Boring's amazing streak as the multi-year champion with the IWAR World Championship, kind of snapped last month when he finally broke his silence about losing the title to Flashy Jack. He once again is threatening to go after Jack and make the title his tombstone, also mentioning that the inner power struggle in the RFD isn't his concern. He will never bend the knee to Wolf, who is the leader. Eclipse kind of calms him down, whispering something to him. But Decapitator and Tombstone come up with the name Headstone as their team name. They're very happy about that. And Timberwolf, eager to impress the leader Wolf, calls out Wisp, Mike Cook, and Mike Buick. Mick Buick. Damn it, I screwed that up. Not Mick Ferrari. The White Claw Outlaws remind the Von Schnapps to keep their focus on them and not the Samoan Death Grip. That both the Samoan Death Grip and the Mannequins are all news. They beat both of them. They talk about facing the winners of the Toronto Tag Tournament, the Amazing Graces, which now I'm curious to see how they'll promo because the Amazing Graces upset the White Claw Outlaws to win the championship. Jim Neidhart mentions how the White Claw Outlaws have never lost him in their corner. And that he plans to take down Punk Rock Mike for the Global Championship. Wrestling Demons and Drugs claim Ari Rude will no-show at a Magic Bash. He did. And that someone should send EMTs to his hotel to see if he OD'd. Did he? Read the promo. Read the Magic Bash write-up. He did. Mike Cook hopes his Lethal Lottery partner, the California Gunslinger, is better than his last, Stevie Vertigo and Luther Alexander, because they screwed up, he feels. And he mocks Wolf with a series of facts about wolves that will not make Wolf happy. The Legends of the New Wave, talked about earlier, Johnny Carnage, Stevie Vertigo, and Samoan Death Grip attack Wisp, put the monstrous Wisp through a table, using Johnny Carnage's new finisher, the Carnage Driver, all because Wisp doubted Johnny Carnage's big win at the Royal Rumble. We got another disturbing promo from Jinko. This time we get Replace Your Face. So Jinko, I think, is about to unleash some new arcs and angles. Let's see. Next up we have Flashy Jack takes time to take some questions from Dapper D. Dapper D&D talks about his championship and defending against LePage Turner at a Magic Clash. So the Montreal Bankroll, Wyatt Kowalski, BHD, FAO O'Shaughnessy, and the Carnival Profits talk about using their off-the-books funds to put money into the efforts they have. They're tired of being attacked by the BRL's bums. Kowalski's win over Mysterious Benefactor and Magic Bash, is it going to go to a third? Now, I'm not sure. I think I may have missed it, but I thought that was their blow-off match. but now I believe it stands 1-1. So I think that match in the Magic Bash was for $250,000 from Benefactor if he lost, and he got upset by the Nature Boy. So what'll happen next? Next up, we get a promo from the Suburban Hill Savages talking about prep for Magic Bash. 26 for his ladder match. Jax punching a heavy bag with Hawaiian Heartthrob's face on it. PRM flipping an anchor around to set up for his defense against Jim Neidhart. Talks about possible next stop, defending a 2-year anniversary. Now, this is kind of cool because Punk Rock Mike won the Global Championship that he now defends at Autumn Anarchy from 2 years ago, and he beat Paige Turner to do it. So now Turner's going to rematch, and Johnny Connors is the third member of this match, so what will happen? The Olympians talk about the Global Six-Man defense, and their plan is to capture the Global Tag Team as well. They actually swapped it at the pay-per-view, so that's going to be interesting to see how they do that. They remain one of the big dominant forces in the league, so it's kind of cool to see that they're doing well. Mad Dog Tommy Zulu talks about being an impartial ref for the Kabuki Dragon / LePage Turner match at Magic Bash. I will say this, that match is going to have a lot of stuff coming out of it. Mannequin number 3, so we've been doing kind of Meet the Mannequin. So Mannequin number 3 isn't like the twins that are 1 and 2. He speaks, and he has a voice box for them, and he talks about the Von Schnapps trying to steal their spotlight, who they later attack, because that's what they do. The NWO Father Conrad stops by to talk about a Lethal Lottery partner, Jax McAllister, and how they get along. Hashtag they did. Kabuki Dragon reveals he's trained specially hard for his match against LePage Turner. They have a long history from back in their FWA days, and he talks about his PRL World Championship, the CCL World Championship, the Steel League Interfed World Championship, and talks about how, people don't think that's important. Well, that actually is. It really shows Kabuki Dragon to have a really, really strong resume. Next up, the Schmidt brothers with Nina attend a charity event and they have big plans in store for the BRL. Rainbow Pony tells Owen Bolick, who will meet and beat at the Magic Bash, that he loves block parties, and he's going to throw a big one if he wins at a Magic Bash. And then we have some sort of darkness, and a lone figure is barely seen in the shadows, and they attack Agent 26 of Punk Rock Mike. They wake up, a passerby wakes them up. They mumble to each other, wondering what happened. The note says, "Grandpa loves you," and a flower. So could it be that the Hawaiian Heartthrob struck back? Because, like I said before, writing-wise, this would be like kind of like when Sting and Luger were teaming up.
The greatest angle of all time, by the way.
So good. And when Luger was the heel, and he was like, yeah, and then as soon as he turned away, he was like, so is that the situation we're dealing with, where the Punk Rock Mike and crew were like oblivious to the heel antics of Jax McAllister? Next up, we get the Country Hammer. Rhett Grady arrives, and he calls out Mick Ferrari and sets up their big showdown. And that, one of the biggest stars in NWL history is down in BRL's yard, so that's going to be written up in the Magic Bash. All the way from Lynn, Mass, Stevie Vertigo shows up, Drago Tanaka, and tells him he should fear the LNW. They end up beating the hell out of him, and they make one more offer to Mick Ferrari to join them, the Legends of the New Wave. So I always like the fact that his old arch enemy Rhett Grady's there, so Stevie takes time to recognize that. And, of course, we talked about Stevie Vertigo losing the Revolution Championship at a Match Clash. The sports show poster is fun. I love stuff like that, like the Senya Lucha, distilled vodka thing or whatever it was, tequila. We get Drago Tanaka talking about the B-roll being tough, but he's going to endure, and he's warning Stevie Vertigo to, if he keeps messing with him, he's going to give him vertigo. Riku Matsuda is unsatisfied with his early struggles, but he's going to call out Seth Adamsley for his big mouth and focus his attention on Seth Adamsley. So hopefully that'll be a good feud there. Rock the Dwayne Johnson talks a big game, mocking Mannequin number 3, challenging Zydrate to a match out of Anarchy. Looks very familiar. This is what I always see people, you want to create new characters, but if you do a really good job of bringing back an old favorite, that's fun too. And finally, Mick Ferrari covers as many series and events. He's pretty damn sure he knows who his mystery opponent will be at a Magic Bash. And then he talks about, planning to try to win and beat Atticus Black in the best of the best 6, which he actually goes on to do. So now Mick Ferrari will go on, and he will challenge the IWAR World Championship and he tells the Wrestling Demons and Rec Rady he's looking forward to beating all of them. So that's your BRL promo recap right there.
Yeah, man, I dig that.
You do.
So, Matt, what do you got for us IWAR wide?
Not a whole hell of a lot. Promo-wise, just entertainment-wise, the Magic Clash write-up's getting done. I'm going to be doing that this week and the Magic Bash write-up, so I'm glad we did this week, like now, got out of the way. I would just say that, there's a lot going on. We're going to start pushing the IWAR draft, so to kind of foreshadow that, for those of you who are new, who don't know, the IWAR draft is a once-a-year event where players will submit their wrestler into the draft. So, like, Father Conrad could be in the draft, or whoever, right? And then what we do is we have a live draft on the air, and we're able to do it, like this year, completely live like this. And we draft the players into the league. So it's by wrestler. But it's a really fun event. It's one of the best things we do. Everyone has a good time. And you can shake things up and say, hey, I'm entering my wrestler into the draft. If you're in a league now, we don't mind if you want to say, hey, I don't care where my guy goes, or if I want to have all my guys follow one guy, that's fine too. But it's a lot of fun, and we'll do more on this in the next issue, or probably next issue after this. But we'll get that up and running, and it's a chance for NWL players who aren't sure where they want to go, a chance to go into a league with an angle, because we do little events during it, and it'll be fun. So a reminder that the goal deadline is June 20. What am I going to say? It's 21st. Is that right?
Hope so. I haven't done shit.
Yes, I believe it is. And, it's okay. I would just say,
It's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It'll be the 19th or the 20th.
Oh, I actually have it here somewhere.
The 19th is Sunday.
Is it? Are you sure? You're not lying to me.
Looking right. No, because you give me the stats I need, so I can't lie to
June
you.
21st, yeah. So it's June 21st, so it's due by the 20th. So I would just ask everybody to send in promos. If you have questions, if you want some assistance, like we said before, reach out to us for banners and character creation.
Reach out for strats.
Right. Free strats.
Yeah. See where you can get the
480
best
or
strat from.
above. Nothing less than 480.
Make sure the person is not giving you a strat puts 2 14s in there or something.
Right. Use the whole 31, and
Yes.
and only 31 6 times. Oh, all right. Well, that's
Yeah, at least the only thing I wanted to say was the sports memorabilia thing. I love it. I think I love seeing stuff, especially when it says hot dogs for kids, and then next to it, on-site sports betting. Also for the kid.
that was awesome. I believe that was Aaron, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh no, never mind then. If Aaron did it now,
You son of a.
it sucked.
Yeah. Oh dare you!
I know. I'm curious to see what a Luther Stevie Vertigo proper feud would actually look like.
Oh, I will say a quick thing, a current thing. The Celtics are playing the Warriors in
No
the
one
NBA
cares.
Finals, and most of the time,
Celtics are the balls.
What?
Celtics are
They're
the balls.
Oh well, the Celtics. I'm a Celtics fan, but one thing I hate in general is the flopping and overselling. And every time I see it, all I can think of is like JR being like, "My God, stop the damn match!" Because we have this thing. My friends and I have this running gag about a thing called the loser's limp. And the loser's limp is whenever you're playing, seeing a sports competition, and someone who's obviously clearly going to lose the game develops an injury, and it's like, oh, he can't go on. And Jason Tatum, I always say, like, he needs to make the jump to become an elite player. He's not there yet. I don't care what they say about all NBA bullshit. He's not there yet, and he has to stop selling shoulder injuries like PCO and play the damn game.
Well, if he actually pops his shoulder out, that's one thing.
He got he hits a weird thing. He'll fall down and my favorite. I will say my favorite thing in the NBA or soccer is a player who falls down, but then all of a sudden has a chance to make a play and goes from completely catastrophically injured to I'm okay. So, anyways, I hope everybody has a good cycle with strats. Be sure to watch the workshop next week.
I will if you will.
I have to. That's right.
Matt gives out 96 strats.
I am the most ethical player in the IWA.
Yes, you are.
If you see a guy roll up in a white van offering free strats, run the other way.
Yeah. That free candy crossed out with candies as strats. 490 or above.
Damn it. I get caught by that one every time.
Ask grass or strats. No one rides free.
That's right. Oh, and
that's what
I'll try to send you some strats, Darren. Yeah, Darren, how many World Sixes do you have? I have no World Sixes, so that's a fair trade.
50.
All right, that's the IWAR as a whole right now. So,
all right, guys. So we are officially out of time. So for Scott, for All Ethics, Matt Riley, for Jeff, who's currently asleep, and for